But why will Nigerians be calling Sowore sent Sowore pray for us? Why they going to do like that? From blasting Sowore to other things ABC that happen for Nigeria to MC almost saying that his office was invaded. Why am I going to invade my office? Now maybe the regional chairman of the NURTW, every other person na counterfeit. Against court order. Against court order, we bring Barowa and we say Barowa and then be the regional owner of the NURTW. Two, of course, waiting they happen with Aerofy and all of those cases. I also tell on initially, say the cleric will be say being host Peter will be for Kaduna State. They invite them, DSS invite them today for questioning. So all of this and more now we're going to talk about. In the midst of all of this, attacks did they happen for inside Nigeria. Welcome to Updates Expressions. And it is sweet my belly to bring on an update of things that they share for inside the country. Joining me this evening for inside the studio, I go let on know. But make I just say give on some of the small stories them as they hot this evening. Sharp, 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 sharp. I know we waste your time just for because I already gave you guys updates, so I'll give you guys more update now. So I tell on I say MC Olomo talk say na him be the original NURTW chairman of, although he didn't say that in English language, he speak pidgin in sorry, Yoruba language, this talker, but that's what he said. Well, terrorists abduct Equa board chairman, Reverend Sunday Aganga in Plateau State. That one said day for inside the news. Genocide. Churches attacked daily. Worshippers murdered in cold blood. Activist Okichuku slams Tinubu's government over worsening insecurity. And meanwhile, as it get to do with heat, in case you the sweat as I dey sweat right now, and you don't get light as I don't get light, no worry. Oga Adelego and Minister for Power say we are working on it. Power Minister Adelego tells Nigerians amid intense heat and blackout. So for the blackouts, on the experience and the heat, where one win now. Don't worry, we're working on it. You will soon have energy very, very soon. The power they come. Power is coming. Even though we know say all power belongs to God, but power they come very, very soon. IGPDC redeploys Delta Police Commissioner less than 3 months after appointment. I told you earlier that two family members were kidnapped during Ekwa Church attack in Kwara State this Sunday. And ex-Malami accuses EFCC of forcibly evicting family from Abuja home without court order. Say they no carry court order at all. Truck driver flees after losing control, killing two in Ibadan. It was really very disastrous. I can't even show you the gory images. Christian Muslim women unite to form vigilante group in Jos, patrol streets at night to combat crime. Now, women and I don't take over the matter. Both Christians and Muslims, all of them join together, so they need to do again. I saw it good sometimes. Nigeria Police Service Commission Chairman urges new DIGs, AIGs to end arbitrary arrests, unlawful searches. Not gonna let they search people anyhow, let they arrest people anyhow. That one, I'm waiting the talk. Trial over Yelwata massacre adjourns as defendant collapses in court. Well, all of these and more matters now this will bring to another but this evening. And joining us for inside the studio now, Oga Barrister Mankey. Barrister Mankey, a lawyer, legal practitioner, lawyer with business. Barrister Mankey, thank you. This is the second time we're seeing you this year, yeah? Yes, right? Thank you so much.
It's good to be
Thank you
here.
very much for joining us. So the last
Thank
time we
you.
saw you, our president had not visited the United States, the United Kingdom. And it will not be fair for me not to pick your mind on the president's visits to the United Kingdom. First of all, welcome to the show. It's always a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Welcome, everyone.
All right, sir. So let me quickly pick your mind on all the things that don't happen in recent times for Nigeria. Our president's visits United Kingdom the day immediately after there was a triple bomb blast in Borno State and all that other matters the way we say don't they happen. Where me and you be never talk about. Make a pick your mind quickly and then before we go to other issues.
Well, it's a very unfortunate situation that we are in. The way it is just like it's like we are all in a cage. You know, if you are familiar with a cage system in the poultry, wherein the owner of the farm cages his birds, and he comes in and picks anyone he so desire at any time without interference. That's exactly the kind of situation that we find ourselves in. And it's so sad and unfortunate that this is where we are. Now, concerning the visit to the United Kingdom, well, it will be a strange thing if anybody expects otherwise, because I have accused United Kingdom to be behind what is happening in Nigeria. Do you understand it? I can tell you for free that the volume of oil and gas that leaves Nigeria for United Kingdom is unaccounted for. There is an alliance between the Buckingham Palace and the evil government that is in Nigeria. That's why the king cannot talk about the genocide. He's pretending as if he doesn't know anything that is happening in Nigeria. Of course, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is a British citizen, they have not talked about him. They don't care because they see him as somebody who is a threat to their economic state. I can tell you, if things look up in Nigeria, Britain is one of the countries that is going to regret because their economy is likely going to collapse. Because Nigeria is the mainstay of the British economy in terms of raw materials. So where are they going to get all that free raw material from if Nigeria picks up? So that is why if you watch the game that was going on, the kind of bilateral and all whatnot, do you think Britain doesn't know what is happening in Nigeria?
So just hold on. Are you saying that if Nigeria better, it go dey bad for Britain? That means Britain they dependent on Nigeria for their own development. So they like the way we will not they developed so that then
no. They see. Okay, I'll give you a practical example. Did you see what happened when Oyema, through Air Peace, entered the international gateway?
Yes.
British Airways, JITA, even Lufthansa, all international distance. Look, Nigeria is a mining field. It's an economic mining field. So they were all practically, thrown off balance when Oyema entered into the international distance. And they did everything to frustrate him out of that line. So that is how it is for Britain. I did my research work on the legal framework for environmental management in Nigeria, the petroleum industry in focus. Britain knows what it is doing. And Nigerians, majority of Nigerians are aware of what Britain is doing in this country. Share BP and move offshore, where their evil is all from the eyes of majority of Nigerians. Ask anybody who is in the oil industry, who work offshore. Let them give you a kind of tip of the iceberg of the massive corruption. The greatest area of corruption is the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. Nigeria has globally recognized comparative economic advantage in the production of crude oil and gas. How much are people buying a kg of gas in Nigeria? How much is a liter of petroleum? Nigeria has no business whatsoever with importation of refined products into this country because it has the manpower. It has the capacity to refine this crude oil for us to buy at the best possible rate globally. But few individuals, few criminal minds at the corridor of power have connived and are behind what is happening to Nigeria, what is happening to Nigeria. That's exactly what is playing out. So whatever the British family, the royal family can do, let them continue. But it's a matter of time. I can assure Britain that the same way that British Airways shouted, that is how it is about the British economy. If things look well in Nigeria, let me say globally, in the entire Europe, majority of Nigerians who are abroad, they are tired and sick. Most Nigerians who are abroad, they are on economic exile. In my capacity as a notary public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, I can tell you that Nigerians are escaping. They are not going out to look for greener pastures. Majority of Nigerians are escaping out of this country. I engage in doing notarized work for those who want to travel on daily basis. So I understand what I'm saying. Nigerians are running away. You are running away from your own country. When there is war here, Nigeria is at war. Nigeria is at war. Because as I speak to you, no life is secured. No single life is secured. You only pray that Nigeria should not happen to you. Just pray that Nigeria should not happen to you. I am in Port Harcourt here. There's an incident that happened just under a week now in Port Harcourt here. There's a particular young lady who is in charge of one, a kind of ushering team, a powerful ushering team group in Port Harcourt here. I think she's from Okrika or so. She was just going on Odiri Road to go and check where she would do an event. She was trapped. They shot her 6 times. The driver escaped. The aides escaped. They took her to hospital. The next day, she died. On Sunday, one young lady was returning from church. Convoy, crush her. The rest of the team in the convoy ran over this young lady. She's dead and gone. Currently, as I'm speaking to you, the University of Education at Rumunumili, one of their students is kidnapped. It's all over the social media. Now, people who were rejoicing when I told people that Wike has sold Rivers State for Islamic agenda, people didn't understand. I warned people that the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State was for Islamic agenda. People didn't understand. Where have you heard that state of emergency have been declared again against the grappling insecurity that is happening? Have they been able to declare that in any other place? It was to pave way for the deepening of the Quran into the Atlantic Ocean. But I assure them, as far as God is alive, they will fail.
How exactly the state of emergency for River State Tuesday connected with anything about religion? How?
Let me say this to you. If you do not understand, I give you a clear, perfect analogy. I insist that Bola Tinubu has no business being the president of this country. I hold my professional organization accountable. I hold the justices of the Supreme Court accountable, because the Supreme Court is an institution. You understand me? It's an institution. That is the highest court of law in Nigeria. But we have just like we have company. Company is distinct, is an artificial legal entity distinct from the owners of the company. But the company operates through its alter egos, who are the directors. In the same way, the institution of the judiciary operate through human beings. So in the case of Nigeria, I hold the justices of the Supreme Court that impose Tinubu on us. I've told you here that this is Tinubu, the most controversial fellow. This is the fellow that Gani Fahimi was fighting till he died.
How is the president controversial, sir? That's what many would say.
Now,
he's just a politician.
Yeah, those who don't understand should listen to me very carefully. You know about Gani Fahimi of blessed memory. Gani Fahimi fought Tinubu till he died. What was he fighting him for? Gani Fahimi was fighting Tinubu that he is a fraud. When Tinubu became governor of Lagos State, he claimed that he attended Ibadan High School and that he attended Chicago University. These are the two plunge upon which he fought and became governor of Lagos State. Now that he became the president, he had reversed and abandoned Ibadan High School. He now claimed that he attended Lagos High School, no longer Ibadan High School. He abandoned Chicago University. He said he no longer attended Chicago University, that he attended Chicago State University. Did you hear me? Now, when people now were interested because of this discrepancy, they went to Chicago State University and asked that his document, his biodata, should be uploaded, should be brought out. They discovered that the certificate that Bola Tinubu presented at Chicago State University, that he attended Lagos High School, bear 4 years date before the real Lagos High School came into existence. Hear me again. The certificate that is at Chicago State University, as I'm talking to you now, I live in Port Harcourt here. I attended University of Calabar. The program that took me to University of Calabar was IJMB, Interim Joint Matriculation Board Exam, which is equivalent to A-level. I did that at College of Art and Science, which is now Elechi Amadi Polytechnic, along Rumala Road. That school can be called back. They can trace my details. If I claim that I attended College of Art and Science, there must be students who attended that school with me. Till now, even at the bar, I have colleagues that will remember our fun days when we were doing IJMB. You understand me? But Bola Tinubu, I am telling you, the certificate they found at, in fact, they also found that the Bola that is on record there is a female. There are a lot of controversies, and yet against all this, the Supreme Court justices collected money. I insist that they collected money. A day is coming they must give account to Nigerians.
You're a lawyer.
I am.
The
I
Supreme
am.
Court to
They will
money
tell us. They will tell us whatever made them compromise. The facts are there. There are see. You can win by propaganda, but you cannot frustrate truth. Do you understand?
So, remember that the Supreme Court did not judge the case per se. They only just said that it is too late for them to look at that issue.
No. Are you talking about the state of? Are you talking about
the tribunal?
Hold on. Are you talking about declaration of state of emergency? That rubbish that Supreme Court did, or you are talking about the one
about during the election tribunal, the presidential election?
Listen. It is the Supreme Court.
Because it was during that time that the president's issue was mentioned. It
is a criminal offense. It doesn't have bar. Do you understand me? It is unlike a civil case. Have you heard about the case of Jeffrey Archer in United Kingdom, who lie under oath to win a case of his involvement with a harlot against the newspaper? And then about 10 years on, the truth came out. He was jailed for 4 years for perjury, lying under oath. That Tinubu can fraudulently present a certificate that bears 4 years before the institution came into. Are we joking? Or we are playing? No serious country would do that. And that is what happened here. And Supreme Court knew it. The facts were brought before it. Is it not President Tinubu that went to block that they should not reveal the content about his drug case? A president fighting that is going to jeopardize his career if they reveal the content of his past. What is he covering? Then look at this confusion. This is the person that the Supreme Court. Let me shock you. Are you aware that the 10th National Assembly, headed by Akpabio, they have removed qualification, academic disqualification, this thing from as condition for election?
Yes.
All those conditions that were removed, they have removed them.
So that means an opponent, and Atiku Abubakar can no longer use Tinubu's results against him anymore. That's what that means, right?
That's exactly, and this is what we call entrenchment of criminality. This is what we call entrenchment of criminality. Do you understand? And that's exactly what is happening. Look, let me tell you, if you know the volume of money that has come from this removal of petroleum subsidy, the billions that have been kept, but I assure them that these guys are going to be disappointed. My own greatest shock, look at Britain that claimed to love Nigeria. Did you hear the king talk about the issue of terrorism in Nigeria?
No.
Did you hear him talk about it? He will never. He will never. Did you hear him?
Something way there before all international community and they complain about it.
If they talk about it, it means that they are injuring themselves. Britain's hand is not clean in the case of Nigeria. A country that can abandon its citizen. Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen, carrying British passports, was kidnapped from Kenya. He was kidnapped under what we call extraordinary rendition. And it's a shame. No wonder somebody said that nothing is as frustrating as being a lawyer in the state of lawlessness. That's exactly the situation in Nigeria. That's why people like this Olomo that you are mentioning can do what they are doing and they will get away with it. See, let me tell you, if you are depending on law in Nigeria, you will die. We don't have democracy. We are not in democracy. There's no rule of law. The foundation of rule of law is that because of the avarice of human nature, that law is above everybody. Everybody is under law. That's why people like Ekweremadu can be in jail in United Kingdom. In the case of Ekweremadu, I repeat it here for purpose of emphasis. Ekweremadu is the first person to be convicted and jailed under modern slavery law in the United Kingdom. And that law was forced because they know that based on human nature, that those who are well-to-do can exploit and take undue advantage of the poor, like this organ harvesting and the rest of them. That's why it is purely altruistic. You don't sell organ. Do you understand it? And when, based on the course that Dr. Njimanze placed on Ekweremadu, when the daughter, Sonia, had the issue of kidney problem, Ekweremadu employed the services of Obeta, Dr. Obeta, and then they got one young chap from a working site in Lagos, and they deceived the guy, told him how they would take care of him when he has donated one of his organs and all whatnot. The guy is not related to Ekweremadu family whatsoever, howsoever, but he lied under oath and used it to obtain visa, used it to prepare papers, and move this guy to UK. That's where God frustrated him. God made them to lose sense of carrying out what we call compatibility tests before moving the guy to the United Kingdom. When they got to United Kingdom, they said they had to carry out compatibility tests before they will go in to transplant the organ. When they carry out the compatibility test, they realize that they don't match. Ekweremadu embarked on a means of now returning the boy back to Nigeria. When the guy realized what was happening, he quickly contacted the Metropolitan Police and reported. Of course, that is where law works. That is where nobody is above the law. The police had to go into investigation, and the camp on one became open. The judge who handled Ekweremadu case told him, say, Ekweremadu, I have 51 allocutus on your behalf. 51 allocutus.
Oh dear, sincere apologies. I think your network is just interrupted. Barrister Mikey, can you hear us? Are you there? Hello, Barrister Monkey.
Amongst others.
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Even priest wrote on.
Unfortunately, this network won't come, and we're not really ready for this today. We just do wish that we'll not have this network issue today, so we can have this conversation. Can you hear me, sir? Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Right.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me?
Very well.
All
Very
right.
well now.
The judge told Ekweremadu, yes, the judge told Ekweremadu that I have read all the 51 allocutus made on your behalf. You go, I am sending a wrong signal to the society that the health need of your daughter Sonia cannot be satisfied on the altar of the action of the poor. The judge told him that you knew what you were doing. You were fronting others because you are aware of the danger of the law catching up with you, and you were using human instruments to front all that you were doing.
All right.
And he was
You see,
convicted.
that is why
of course, you know that
the UK is
Nigeria set up a delegation.
I know, and they deny. We know that story, sir. Sorry for cutting you, but you see, that is why the UK is doing us good, because they want to help us develop. They are giving us a loan of £746 million, £746 million to develop our ports. You know, because they're doing us good, and then not just that. Oh, they've also signed agreement to repatriate. You know, some people who could not get asylum and all that, and all those things. So, how did the president do bad in his visit to the United Kingdom? He did good because he's seeking, foreign bilateral relationship that would mean well for Nigeria and Nigerians.
Let me say this to you. I wish that some of the victims of the repatriation will do the needful when they arrive in Nigeria.
Which is what?
I don't want to say more. I don't want to say more than that. I wish some of the victims of the repatriation that will soon happen will do the needful when they arrive in Nigeria and have the opportunity. That's all I can say. I wish some of them who will be repatriated back to this country will do the needful when they have the opportunity. Because they will come here, they will face the reality on the ground here. They will be confronted by the reality, even the insecurity that is here. They should do the needful to our ruiners. They should do the needful. I am saying it again, and I leave it blank and open. May they be courageous enough to do the needful to our ruiners, even to their children, so that they will know that To no one, it's like giving in freehold. We are all tenants. You see,
all right, sir.
all the game.
Now, just reminding you this. Somebody stated here that when the king visited Kenya, that he was asked by Kenyans to apologize for the atrocities that were committed during the colonial era. You know, uprising during the Mau uprising. Things that were exactly. So, but the king, well, they said King Charles refused to apologize. We also do know that countries like Senegal had at some point ordered that France also paid them some entitlement for those of the soldiers who were killed wrongfully and all that. So people are holding their colonial masters to book, like, come and do the things you did to others, not good. Come and do it. Remember that recently a particular court in Enugu did tell the United Kingdom to pay some families in Enugu some money for the people that were unjustly killed during the colonial era because they were asking for their, their wage inadequacies to be balanced and all that. Yeah. So people were expecting that maybe perhaps the president should have reminded the king all of these issues and all that during that visit. How does it make you feel? I mean, generally about everything that was discussed during that visit.
That would be very strange for me, with the knowledge I have that Tinubu will have the audacity to raise such a question in view of his moral turpitude status. He cannot raise such. You think Britain doesn't know more about Tinubu? They know much more about Tinubu. They cannot. He cannot. Is it not Bwala that was disgraced recently? Is it not Bwala? So there are things he cannot. All that he was doing there. In fact, I saw that visit as a consolidation. Do you understand? He was consolidating in fact, Tinubu is selling Nigeria. He's selling Nigeria out technically. Do you know that the entire tax system is given to France? Nigeria, with the brain that Nigeria have, is ceded out to France. Chagori, they are buying over. In fact, Chagori is behind the solid mineral resources industry in Nigeria. Bola Tinubu is buying all the oil companies and his family. And then, is it somebody of that nature that will be able to challenge Britain as by economic atrocities against Nigeria? Never. Instead, he went with Britain to do more. I can tell you that what you had is, there are more to it. There are secret deals. It's like a man that is living in immorality with his secretary, so to say, in the office. There are level of authority demand does not have. You think Britain doesn't know what is happening in Nigeria? You think Britain doesn't know about the genocide that's going on in Nigeria? We mean physical genocide ongoing in Nigeria. No life is secure. If you are living in Nigeria, just pray that Nigeria should not happen to you. This is the reality. I speak to you as a lawyer. Life is not valued here. Life is valueless. That is where we are presently. I can speak to you on that.
But Barrister, right? The president did not start all of this. He inherited them from the previous administration. So many would say he's trying his best to ensure that.
No, he said he was going to continue from where the last administration stopped. Did you not hear that? He said he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped. And that's exactly what he's doing. It is Buhari that brought in this terrorism. And Tinubu is continuing from where he stopped. Where in the world is what is happening in Nigeria in terms of terrorism be allowed to continue? That life does not matter. Life, human life does not matter. The primary duty of any government globally is protection of life and property. I can tell you that your life is unsecure. My life is unsecure. Danjuma is justified. T.Y. Danjuma, who said long ago that if you are depending on the security agents in Nigeria for your protection, that you will all die one by one. The man was right. And it is here more than ever. It is here more than ever. It is APC that imported these terrorists into this country. Did you not hear what happened when Buhari ran? Gumi is the ambassador extraordinary in Nigeria. Is the one that dictates what happened. It's Gumi. He said they should suspend USA, they should go to Turkey. And the president ran to Turkey to sign security pact Are you not aware? That Islamic country that is on record that is supply arms to Boko Haram in Nigeria. What are we talking about? He's continuing what he promised Nigeria. Just like Monday Okoboro of Edo State, who said he was going to promise the people insecurity, and he's actually giving them insecurity.
So that was a slip of tongue now.
Slip of tongue. Okay, if it's a slip of tongue, he is executing what the slip of tongue said. The tongue slept.
How is he executing it?
Of course, you want to see that when state of emergency was declared in Rivers State, right? The Irome 19 or Irome 16 that were killed, Irome, they said they were coming from the killing field. They said they came from a hunting field in Rivers State, under the sole administrator. So when the Rivers State become a hunting field, they come here. If you come to Port Harcourt, as I speak to you now, go to places like Waterlines, you see all their wives there. The husband of these women, they are the people in the forest for kidnapping. In Rivers State, here they kidnap, they negotiate. This is all over the country now. They use pole. Look, anybody who tells you that Nigeria is not a joke, as I'm speaking now, if the security agent wants to trace me, they can trace me with ease. I mean, terrorists are using live. They are doing TikTok live, exhibiting the money that they got from Nigerians, the billions they got. They negotiate with government. El-Rufai says that the government, that Tinubu is paying terrorists. Was he able to deny it? He could not. Gumi said that the government knows all the terrorists and their addresses. Has the government been able to deny it? So what are you talking about? What are we talking about? I don't believe in just talking for talking sake.
So you don't believe there was anything good that anything good came out of the president's visit to the United Kingdom? I am not going to move to another direction. Sir?
Okay, if there's anything that will good that is coming out of it, I can also tell you that Bola Tinubu is sensitive. He is seeing ahead where Nigeria will ultimately head, because the best way forward is for this country to balkanize. Do you understand me? That is the only way forward. Is for the balkanization. Let's do referendum and decide if we want to be together or not. Because there is nowhere in the world, I'm speaking to you now as a lawyer, I stand to be corrected. Those who are listening, they should call in and say otherwise. If there is anywhere in the world where Islamic fundamentalism and democracy are successfully forced together, if there is any place, they should point to me just one place. I insist that globally, there is no place under the earth where Islamic fundamentalism and democracy are successfully forced together, and Nigeria cannot be an exception. That's my position.
Hey, but people would say that when you talk this one, and people would talk, say, oh, you discriminate against others' religion. And we all know that this is not fair to discriminate against any religion whatsoever. We understand.
Let me say this to you. You are driving towards what we call secularism. I am thoroughly familiar with the concept of secularism, which is section 10 of our constitution. That constitution is dead. Is dead. Quote me anywhere. That section of the constitution is dead. It's not alive. That section talking about secularism. We are not running any secular state. I tell you, we are not in democracy. The judiciary have been captured and it is being used as instrument of Sharia. It took the United States of America. See, let me give you a practical example of what is going on. Are you familiar with the case of Sunday Jackson?
Yes, I am.
Fine. The judiciary is an aspect of the lawmaking process of a country. Apart from the law that is made by the National Assembly for the nation, okay, and is passed by the president, when issues go to court and decisions are taken, they form part of the law. It's an aspect of the law that takes into cognizance the direction of the society from what we call the sociological school of jurisprudence. As the society advances, law also moves to take care of it and bridge the gap. That is done readily through the judiciary. I give you a practical example. Like when the judiciary rule, there are some customs wherein if a woman lived with her husband and she has complication in giving birth, she has right to go and marry another woman. Do you understand? And then the woman will produce children instead. Court has heard that that is equivalent to modern slavery and said that such custom is not only repugnant to natural justice, but against good conscience, and struck it down. That's the position of the law. That automatically forms part of the law. You are also aware when the law take a position about a man that has only female children, wherein some custom will say that the female children cannot have right to access the estate of their father, except the brothers of the father. The court has also struck down that that is discriminatory, that they have right to inherit the property of their father. This is how important the judiciary is. But in a situation where we are, look at the case of Sunday Jackson. What the Supreme Court did, and that is the highest court of the land, what these Sharia apostles on the bench succeeded in using the highest court of the law to do, the same thing that happened in the case of Bola Tinubu. Now, what happened in Sunday Jackson case was that the Supreme Court opened their mouth, the justices of the Supreme Court opened their mouth to question why Sunday Jackson did not run away on arrival of the terrorists who came to invade his farm, that he should have run away. That provision becomes the law. Automatically, if any Islamist approaches a farmer on his farm, and the person fails to run away, and the person is killed, they will argue in court that the position of the law of the Supreme Court is that when a terrorist comes into your farm with his cow, that you are supposed to run away. That was the law. That was how Sunday Jackson was convicted, that he should be hanged. It took America to put Nigeria under pressure for that young man to be released. That was the settled state of the law. That is how the Islamists destroyed the law and turned Sharia on everybody. It doesn't matter. You see, people don't understand. I'm a lawyer and I understand the way these things work. They will use the law. You will think that you are under law. You will say, but that is what the court said. No. We are not in a secular state. If we are in a secular state, that's why America is arguing that the 12th state must remove the Sharia law. Because there's no way you can impose Sharia law.
Because already now and on they cause trouble. Muslims are not talking.
No. Listen. That is the crux of the matter. Since they are insisting on it, including the Sultan of Sokoto, since they are insisting on it, that is what's going to divide the country. That's why I have said it, that there is nowhere in the world where Islamic fundamentalism and democracy are successfully forced together. Since it is evident that they are insisting on that, we cannot stay together. Let them be on their own, we be on our own. It's as simple as that. And if you are bringing in the issue of religion into it, it is like praying to God that Hezbollah and the terrorist group in the Middle East and Israel, they should stay together peacefully. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. That's exactly the way it is. We don't belong to each other whatsoever, howsoever. Do you know the billions that these people have stolen over the years? Look at what is happening in Iran. There are people that are poor. They sell all the oil money and use it to build armament to wipe out Israel from the surface of the earth. It's an ideology thing. That's how their mind thinks. Like in Nigeria, did you know that what is happening in the Middle East, that people are demonstrating in Nigeria? You know that?
But you know that Trump is already losing the war with Iran now. Trump and Israel are gradually losing the war. So they're already relaxing it because they're losing. So a lot of people will say that that's because, sir.
Well, that's your own position. But I can tell you one thing. Israel will be the last country that will tolerate that Iran will have upper hand. Leave Iran and Israel together. Israel will bring Iran to rubbles. Do you understand?
Why are they not doing that now?
You said what?
Why are they not doing that now?
Of course, you should know that there should be caution. Of course, you know that in war, there must also be, you have to look at diplomatic angle. See what they did. Okay, now let me ask you a simple question. In the light of what Iran has done, even the issue of death in Nigeria here, they were shouting death to America, death to Israel. This is a mentality. This is what is put on their mind. They are brought up and tell you that any person that does not believe in Allah should be killed. I said it, told you last time, in Port Harcourt here, when state of emergency was declared, with so many people devoid of strategic thinking could not capture. Some religious idiot in Port Harcourt here in Woji shouted Allahu Akbar against a market woman. If they caught that woman, they would have killed her and nothing would happen. Did you know hear what happened in Abuja? The center of Nigeria. Somebody has a shop and rented a shop to somebody, and a religion says because the person that judgment is against hold a goods in a particular shop that they are going to auction that shop. Is that not? How does that touch your memory? If you are sounding upstairs, how does that touch your memory? Don't you know something is wrong? And they came and seized the shop. The man said, "This is my shop. I built it with my own money." They said they don't care that they are implementing Sharia. Anywhere the so-called Sharia is like this movement of cows. This symbol of the cow is a symbol of conquer. And none of our politicians can open their mouth against the movement of cows. They are occupying people's farm. Nobody can say a word against them.
Now that you've stated this, I didn't want to bring this conversation at all. I actually invited you for us to talk about what's happening in Nigeria. But now where you want to make I take you on. So I interviewed somebody recently, my Kano, I don't know whether you know him, the former mayor of Blanco, and he had quite a lot to say. And he said quite some things about Islam and all that. But there was something he said. He challenged Sultan of Sokoto that if the Sultan not say in hand clean and in hand no day for waiting they happen for Nigeria for the insecurity, in challenge and making condemn the insecurity. And the reason Sultan is not condemning the insecurity in Nigeria is because it's in support of what is going on. And that's a big accusation on our Sultan. So I thought to sir,
Do you know that Sultan was hiding in Imo State? That was where he went to hide. For that time that he was quiet, they found him in Imo State with the Uzoduma. I told people that time that bringing
was in Imo State.
In Imo State, bringing Uzodima, who came forth to be the governor of Imo State, was Islamic agenda, just like what they used Ibas to do in Rivers State. Do you know that it was during that 6 months of Ibas that they set up a committee and made a professor of law chairman of the committee? They call it farmer headers crash in Rivers State. Predominant people of Rivers State are farmers, where farmer header crash. Instead of a situation where
what has Hope Uzodima got to do with Islamization in any way? What has it got to do?
It's an agenda. Okay, how? What has Wike got to do with Islamization? Let me say this to you. Listen very carefully. If they know that Amechi said about Wike, he said he knows him very well. That when he was the governor of Rivers State, he wanted to be commissioner for finance. He refused. That they made him chief of staff so that he will be able to monitor him. Amechi said about Wike, he said Wike can sell the mother for money. And that's how desperate he is for money. What you will understand that is correct. The moment these Islamists find that you are that kind of character, they promise you unhindered access to money. And the moment they promise you unhindered access to money, you can do anything, inclusive of the destruction of their people. And that's exactly what they are using Wike to do. They are using the court system, the judiciary, to force the entire Commonwealth of Rivers people into Wike. That's exactly where we are. That's what they are using Supreme Court to do. Just like the case of Sunday Jackson. Okay, you are not a lawyer. When I narrated this story about Sunday Jackson to you, are you not now convinced? And you now have an incline of how they use the instrument of the judiciary? They use the instrument of democracy, because the institution of the judiciary is an institution within the democratic structure. How they use the democratic structure to advance Sharia. What the Supreme Court did in the case of Sunday Jackson was implementation of Sharia through the back door. What happened in Rivers State was implemented, because what happened in Rivers State, the entire constitution was overthrown. The constitution says that if the president declares state of emergency in a place, that for the National Assembly to ratify it, that it must come through two-thirds majority of votes. They use Akpabio to overthrow the constitution by urinating on it and turn it into voice vote instead of two-thirds majority vote. This is how Sharia works. And the moment a National Assembly did that and validated by the court, that becomes the law. It overthrows the constitutional provision.
All right, so many will say, what's your evidence that the Sultan of Sokoto was actually hiding with Hope Uzodinma in Imo State? Because
you did not follow it. You didn't follow it.
Abuja too.
No, you didn't follow it. You did not follow it. If you didn't follow, you can say you didn't follow it. They found him there, and people raised alarm. Like the issue you said that somebody said, let him open his mouth and condemn. That is why I am accusing most of the so-called men of God in Nigeria. See, Tinubu's wife is not a believer. I have said that long time ago. That woman is an Islamic mole that was hiding under Adeboye's church, under the guise that she is a minister. And she was the conduit pipe linking information from the body of Christ to the Islamists through the husband. This is a woman who said that her husband and her have made money, that they are not coming to get Nigerians money, that they are coming to give direction and leadership to Nigeria. Which direction and leadership is that woman giving? Do you think they invited her to the United States for breakfast? She went on her own to go and argue that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. And she claimed to be a Christian. That woman is on an agenda, and God will disgrace her at the end of the day. Because the Bible says, woe to him that says, thus says the Lord, when the Lord has not spoken. You see Tinubu jumping up and down that my wife is a Christian. All those things are takia, what we call deception in Islam. They use that to deceive people. Watch Tinubu. All his policies are full of deceit. It's just deceit. Sharia permits that. You can deceive the infidel. While you are going left, you deflect them by saying you are going to the left. While you are going right. That's exactly what is happening. Tinubu is an Islamist sympathizer. He cannot deny. Did you hear of how much money they were giving to each governor to defect to APC? How much? Look, somebody gave a speculation that each Nigerian can be given $2.5 million, that there's enough money in Nigeria, that if you know the volume of money that have been kept for vote buying, to buy over Nigeria. Because what they do is that the moment this poverty you are seeing, this weaponization of poverty is deliberate. Because the moment you become hungry, you become starved. That's why they can use professors of law to do what they were doing in Rivers State. One Professor Worika. That was the person they set up Farmer Header Crash and made him chairman. And I was hearing some stupid thing the professor was using his mouth to say, that they are going to provide solution where comments Farmer Header Crash in a place like Rivers State. That's Islamic agenda. And they succeeded. Supreme Court could not open their mouth for 6 months. They threatened them and they could not open their mouth until they achieved their purpose. That's how Islam works. We do not belong together. We cannot be together. Let's go our separate way. That is the only solution. And watch it. You are dealing with people that their mentality from childhood, they are taught that precious is meant to be killed because he does not respect Allah. Somebody can just wake up and tell you that you have blasphemed Allah, and they will kill you without question. This is what we're talking about. It's ideology.
The video that I saw. It just reminded me of a video that I saw for a certain Islamic cleric. Let me play it for you so you see.
You cannot treat the believers and the disbelievers the same. You cannot treat the believers and the disbelievers the same. Never. So when we say to have bara, we're talking about to hate, not to love, obviously, to not support, to distance ourselves, to mistrust, to not have friendship, to not accompany, to disrespect, and to not help. So obviously you'll see it's the complete opposite of having the wala. And as we mentioned, the wala is only for the believers, for the Muslims, and the bara is for the disbelievers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, how can you equate the Muslim with the criminals? And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they're talking about the criminals, talking about who? The kuffar, the disbelievers. As we mentioned last week, the criminals. Disbelieving Allah is a crime. Committing shirk with Allah is a crime. That's why I said every single kafir is a criminal.
All right, Barry Samanki, you hear what's in talk?
Yes.
Mickey, you hear what's in talk, Abi? So that
Yes,
means
I can
anybody
hear
who
it.
believes the person commits crime, and
That is
anybody who
who
believes that. So
that is
that's in
who
line
they
with what you're
are.
just saying now.
Yes. If you watch recently, Years on Wike went and solidified pact with Asale Dokubo, who said he's an Islamist, that he's not ashamed. And one thing I love about them is that they don't hide their identity. He made it very clear. He said he has no respect for anybody. They tell you plain that you are meant to be killed. They are not hiding it. I am telling you, in Port Harcourt here, under that period, they would have killed that woman. Nothing would have happened. Nothing would happen. So when I hear people shouting, it cannot happen here, it cannot happen here, they are stupid. I'm very sorry to use that word. They are stupid. Their brain is on flight mode. They have not come to reality. See, let me tell you, it's not from me you will hear. There is even medical terrorism in Nigeria. Use your brain, you will know. The former central bank manager who exposed the plan of the Islamists, you saw how he was finally liquidated in Gwagwalada Specialist Hospital, Malafia. I think Professor, yes, Professor Idiche Ngozi will also understand it, and many others, they will understand it. There is medical terrorism in Nigeria. You know, when you are sick, you are vulnerable, and it's the weakest point of a man. And there are people who are on assignment, they will eliminate you. It's a terrible situation that we are in, and people are joking. That's why when I see people playing politics, talking the rubbish, look at somebody like Wike. Look at somebody like Wike. A life bencher is supposed to be a person of the highest legal distinction. That's why I said with such character as a life bencher, the future of legal profession in Nigeria is doomed. What we are practicing here is not the common law. It is Sharia that is replacing the common law in Nigeria.
All right, sir. So because of the lifespan of the program, let's progress very quickly to some other issues.
Right.
We know, say the Iran and Russia war, Iran, Israel and US war don't cause a lot of issues. Inflation don't they, because the price of oil don't go up, and we know say oil is such a commodity where we say anything that affecting pricing and availability, they ultimately affects the world economy. And it don't reach that stage where we say because of the danger for the Strait of Hormuz, it don't cause skyrocket the price of oil. Most countries don't they put things in place to help their people cushion effect of these price fluctuations and price hike for energy products. But our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu here and waiting to tell us yesterday. Make a play and make it hear it.
I know this Middle East crisis will elicit inflation, will affect our purchasing power, the labor union and others will be gearing to ask us to support them.
Right.
Because
so bottom line, at the end of that statement, he didn't profile any solution, no support, no nothing. We have had people cutting taxes for their people at this time because so they can cope with what is going on with the price of energy. We've had people do all sorts of things. What's in the thing when Nigerians supposed to expect from Nigerian government at this time? And make I take a reaction of waiting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to accept.
I will tell you plain without looking back. They are all very happy. They are
Happy that Nigeria
all,
will be
yes,
suffering.
yes. They are very happy because the thing is working in tandem with their plan to see. Let me tell you, once your brain shifts from thinking significance and migrate to the volatile highway of survival, you are finished. That's where majority of Nigerians are now. Their brain are migrating towards survival. In fact, more Nigerians are going to die. I am saying it to you out of practical experience. One of the things that can knock off a man easily is when he sees his line of responsibility failing before his very eyes. He asks himself, what is he living for? Now, just pray that you should not fall sick. If you get to the hospital, you will understand that the good hands have left. Are you hearing me? The good hands have left. Most of the people who are around are just doing trial and error. Those that this younger one would have learned from have moved. Most of the companies that produce these drugs, they have left. So all that Tinubu is interested in, see what he's using his son to do. Is it not to share rice, to share Ramadan this thing, and then get people? We are even hearing scandalous story that people were paid some pounds in Britain to come out and sing on your mandate. It's only somebody that is his or her brain is not working.
Evidence they will say at 300. They give them the first night, the first day, £500. The second day, they had £200, and there's evidence to that.
It's a shame.
And that's about 1.2 million naira.
It's a shame. It's a shame. And that is our money. It is our money. That's why you see, one thing people don't know is that I keep saying this to people. I think it was Apostle Barnabas of Truth Assembly who said that whenever you rejoice at evil being done to others, that you position yourself and family to partake in that evil. That injustice in a lawless society flies like a stray bullet. You can never tell on whom it will land. I pity people who don't understand the dangerous situation that we find ourselves in. I can tell you that even if you are sick, one of the things that can lead to your quick health is when you have good food base that the dog can work on. Go to the market with 100,000 naira and return back, and check what you are going to carry in the protein bag.
You barely buy anything meaningful.
Then you will know that we are in a messy situation. And for those who can take 100,000 naira to the market, you can look at them as wealthy people. How many fall within that space? This is the challenge we have. And even if you go to the hospital, there's another fear of medical terrorism. Who is handling you? That one will even kill you.
Hospitals these days are falsely carrying false appendectomy on people just to make them pay more money. They will just say, when you don't have appendix, they tell you have appendix so that they will just charge you more money and upskill, make you look like they did this surgery for you. And then when the real appendix comes, you'll not be wondering that
So that is so the thing has affected every. That's why we tell people that you see this law you are destroying. I say this to people like Wiki. You see this law you are destroying. You are taking delight in destroying. It will ultimately destroy you. They should not worry. Is it money they want? This money they are getting to destroy their people, to destroy the future of their children. We come after them one day.
All right, sir. So let's move further because I can't wait to open the phone line. So very quickly, another incident will happen. MCO Lomo versus Baroa, NURTW chairman. Appeal courts, industrial courts, industrial injunction to don't try to stop MCO Lomo. Yesterday, while they tried to stop, while Baroa had to obey the industrial court order to go back to inside to repossess the NURTW building as the chairman, according to court ruling. Police come push and come up for that place. And then today now, military, I follow bring MCO Lomo, escort and come back onto the premises. What do you have to say about that? People, you follow the legal luminaries are complaining about it. That but the president saying the person will be saying they stand for rule of law and he be Democrats. But how come this is happening right before his eyes and he's not saying anything about it?
Well, this matter has also given me another opportunity to lampoon my professional organization. Huge shame, huge shame, huge shame. I say it 3 times to my professional organization. My professional organization is a dead body in Nigeria. And I warn them, you see, this thing is coming to lawyers. It will come to us very soon. Lawyers will be killed in this country. I'm not missing war. Lawyers are going to be, because we are, look, let me tell you.
Lawyers cause this problem. Courts don't judge
listen to me. Listen. I will give you a story that will drive home the point. You know, the issue of body language has come to light now more than when we were in primary school. You understand it? Children these days, your children in the house with you, they have mastered you. They know you in and out. They know your body language. If you think you are too intelligent, plant a camera that they don't have knowledge about. And then watch when they are rehearsing who you are and what you do towards your husband. Or what your husband do when he wants to exercise authority. If your son is there, what your husband used to do, you will see your son standing on the podium of the house and saying, let anybody do bim here. I'll tell you that I'm the head here. You'll be shocked. They do what they see, not what you tell them. When Wike was doing the madness with Akpabio is a lawyer. Wike is a lawyer. Attorney General is a lawyer. Versus president. When they were implementing Sharia in Rivers State through declaration of state of emergency, which was an affront on the constitution, I called on the NBA to stand up and stop the nonsense. NBA would have succeeded in doing that. In United Kingdom and Wales, I think 2014, for the first time in the history of the English law, lawyers in Wales and England went on demonstration in their wig and gown to drive home a point. And they succeeded in stopping the Justice Secretary from tampering with the constitutional provision that was set aside for the protection of the poor. I warned the Nigerian Bar Association that this reactionary and selective justice. Now, NBA was talking about tinted glass. Now they were talking about Uzuru. When a lawyer is kidnapped, NBA will come out and talk. When we carry out that, abuse and urinating on the constitution in Rivers State, the only thing NBA was able to do was to move the conference to Enugu. Now, this year, they are coming to court.
Akamo Sigwe granted an interview and he condemned it. He said that there is no way.
It is not condemnation. It's not condemnation. Listen to me. I'm a lawyer. It is beyond condemnation. Islamists are not moved by condemnation. Are you hearing me? Yeah. Islamists are not moved by condemnation. That one does not move them. Islamists are not moved by condemnation. I'm very sure Osigwe will understand what I'm saying. I pity Osigwe because within Osigwe, there are elements that are sympathizers to Sharia. That's the problem Osigwe is having. The 30-something lawyers who insisted on defending the murderers of Deborah Yakubu, were they not lawyers? They were lawyers. The professor of law, was he not a member of the Nigerian Bar Association? He was. Now, the thing will come back to us. This is the point I am making here. You see all that the Supreme Court was doing All these people, these charlatans, they were watching. They have realized how useless the body of lawyers is. They have realized how useless the judiciary is. They have gotten to the point that they will now say that nobody can dictate what they want. Is president not there? Is Wike not there? When look at the rubbish they were doing in Port Harcourt here, they use even the aberration called sole administrator to conduct the election. Oh my God, my sister, leave it, leave it. I don't want to remember what happened in Rivers State here. There's a payday. Now they are bringing MBA conference to Port Harcourt this year from Enugu. What have you achieved? You have achieved nothing. You have emboldened this terrorism. And
right,
it will come to
how
you
does this, what role way this one get to play now with the court judgment where the appeal courts don't give in favor of Barowa and the industrial courts don't give them in favor of Barowa, but now the implementation may be the problem because MCO almost still carrying them as the person.
How can they implement? How can they implement? The president does not represent rule of law. People like Wike does not represent rule of law. Have you heard of anybody who win a case against Wike? Look at what he's doing in PDP. Look at what he's doing in APC. Somebody being in two parties. We're a joke in this country, my sister. And there's a payday. I said it some time ago that Nigeria is waiting for revolution. Just a spark. Just a spark. We just started. A spark we just started. It may be just the killing of somebody. May just spark it. Because Nigerians are angry. Nigerians are bitter. Just a simple thing like this will just happen. It's just like when there is a tanker that falls and is spilling its contents. People may be fighting. It may just be a bucket that will just fall from the hand of somebody and strike the road and create a spark. And everything will just go into place. And the thousands will just roast away. I insist that Nigeria is just waiting for a spark. Because what is happening in Nigeria here is an abnormality. It's not normal. It's not done in any part of the world. What is happening here is an error.
All right. Okay, so let me quickly also pick your mind on something. So I did interview somebody living in the IDP camp yesterday. Unfortunately, I got a bit too emotional because of the things he had to say. And as a lawyer, I'd like to ask you, because I know, say, when Nigerians leave Nigeria, go seek asylum for other countries, those countries that they seek asylum, they pay them, they house them, they feed them, they help them because they look and say they run away from their country because of human rights. That's noise from your output. So who's supposed to be responsible for the people who insecurity for their houses? Listen to this young man when you see an interview. Hear what he gets to talk. You're making your voice.
20 from 2014 to 2023, I have delivered 20 from 2014 to 2023. I have delivered 54 live babies. The mother and the children are alive. Some of them, I took them to the hospital rejected.
Wait, are you a medical doctor? How are you able
I was
to
pushed by circumstance. I was a kind of like,
so
no,
you
I have
pregnant women by yourself.
Medical person. And I was taught as a child of a missionary, I was taught how to administer drugs for myself. So from there, I decided not to allow anybody to die while I am watching. And I was compelled, not because I wanted to take the delivery, not because they were paying me. Nobody have ever paid me a dime.
About delivering children. How did you become somebody who can deliver children for women?
It was not my passion, but it was a reality of life that pushed me to that.
At what point of your life did
20 from 2014, not because I wanted to take the delivery, not because they were paying me. Nobody have ever paid me a dime.
About delivering children. How did you become somebody who can deliver children for women?
It was not my passion, but it was a reality of life that pushed me to that.
At what point of your life did you get to that condition where you now deliver children for women?
I took a baby when I was taking a pregnant woman to Sowore.
Okay.
General Hospital. in Abuja.
Okay. A pregnant
Yes.
woman from where? This is after you had run for safety. This is after you were in the IDP camp already, or while you were in the
Yes.
IDP camp already. Okay. So
I
go
was
ahead.
in that camp. That's 2015.
Okay.
The National Emergency Management,
Hmm.
FCT, told us that we should
All
take
right. And let me bore
we
you.
should any
Let
person
me
that
bore
is
you of
for
the
Sowore.
drama and all of that. How can people with insecurity chase away from their homes and they're seeking shelter in a camp not have any atom of medical care to the extent that an inexperienced ordinary human being it's taking delivery for women who want to have babies. So based on your experience as a lawyer, whose responsibility are they supposed to be? These things are there's a lot of noise on your output, plenty of noise. So they can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir? Oh my goodness. I don't know why there is a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise. I hope others can hear me though. I don't know why Barista Maki cannot hear me. I don't know what's going on. I think it's his network. All right. So I wanted to understand where the place of government for all of this and what in basic government supposed to do to ensure the safety of these people. Barista Maki, can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing
Awesome,
you.
awesome. So I wanted you to respond to me quickly so that we'll move to another case and open the phone lines. I know Nigerians are itching to ask you questions.
Okay. It's a very unfortunate situation. You see, when you come across people like this, they give you a clear picture. Nigeria is living in a kind of calculated falsehood. That's what I may describe the situation that we find ourselves in. We are living in a calculated falsehood. Everything about the system that Bola Tinubu is running is just like Bola Tinubu himself. About his Ibadan High School, about his Chicago University, about his Chicago State University, about his Ibadan and Lagos High School. That is how. So you can't give what you don't have. Living and one of the things they are living on is propaganda, falsehood, giving false information. And because they have control over the media, they are using that instrument to pass the wrong signal. That's why Achino Achibe said, and I love what he said, that until the lion have their own historian, the story of the hunt will always favor the hunters. That's exactly where we find ourselves. That is the situation that we find ourselves in this country. And it's very unfortunate and sad that this is where we are. It sounds like a joke, but I can tell you what this young man is telling you is just a tip of the iceberg as per the reality that is on the ground. It's so sad, but that's the reality. For those who are not yet people, they may not understand what this young man is saying, but this is it. You ask yourself, what are the people? What are they using the money? Money that is meant to improve the life of the people. What are they using the money to do? Whether they have gone into a kind of satanic oath that if they use the money to do something that will advance the life. I think somebody some time ago, I say if a government, you ask yourself, what is the purpose of government? If a government can import terrorists that are killing her people, then you know something is wrong. And he sees nothing wrong with it. I told you sometime in this interview that Bola Tinubu came into office on ground of alliance with the terrorists. I said it and I maintain, and everything has proven that to be correct. He had an alliance with the terrorists. That's
How?
it.
How, sir?
You may ask me how. From his body language. Do you know that this new Rubadu, after the terrorists killed about 50 Nigerian soldiers that were carelessly killed and pushed, he said that the terrorists are our brothers, that they can be rehabilitated. Did you hear
No,
that?
No, Nuhu Ribadu did not make that statement after those killings. He made that statement last year, October, November, thereabouts.
What is Nurubadu said after the killing happened this year? Nurubadu said something. Go and fast check me on it.
I know the killing happened this year, but it was the previous year that Nuhu Ribadu said
No, Nurubadu spoke this year. You know, the first one was 50. After that one, about within the same week, about 42, with high-ranking officers among them. Nurubadu, that's terrorist sympathizer. Look at Gumi. Gumi is untouchable. The Sultan is untouchable.
Why should the Sultan be touched?
Oh, if it is found that he is a sponsor of terrorism and we have rule of law, it doesn't matter, he will go down.
Why do you think it's been difficult for us to name those sponsoring terrorism? Because Burutai was interviewed this week, last week, and he said the government knows the sponsors of terrorism, and they know why they're not naming them. Even him, we don't talk. Say every single terrorist for this country.
Yes.
The government know them by name and location. So what is
happening? That now confirmed to you when I told you that this government is in alliance. Why would Gumi be audacious enough to tell the president to abandon US and go to talk? And the president foolishly went there to sign defense pact. If America did not dispatch its troops to Nigeria, before America would have moved in, Turkey would have sent its own people down to Nigeria. That's what would have happened. So this should tell you that the North is taking on Tinubu. This is not the alliance. This is not the pact we entered into. That's why the bombing and the killings are going on. That is the way to send their own signal. They have declared that you either convert to Islam or you'll be killed. Have you not heard that one? Have you not heard? Precious.
Sir.
How many times did I call you?
I can't remember. 3 times.
You can't remember? Me, I was born in the village, and at the village level, when your mother called you 3 times, I ask you how many times did I call you? If you know that it's 3 times, don't come near.
So let me quickly take your mind on something else. Peter Obi was in Kano State, Kaduna and Katsina State over the weekend. And just after Peter Obi come back from Kaduna State, he complained, say, the Sheikh who is poster for Kaduna State, DSS invite him for questioning today. However, Sowore don't take a swipe at Peter Obi very badly. Talk say, Peter Obi not be better person. In fact, say the reason why both Peter Obi or both Alex Otti and Alex Otti did not do anything in the States, you know. Let me quickly play you some of the things Sowore has said and why the things that when you don't talk don't bring a lot of controversy.
You would notice that each time I talk about Malami, he can't respond to me. If I talk about Peter Obi, he can't respond to me. When I talk about El Rufai, he will never respond. When I talk about even Alex Otti, he will never respond. Because I know them in their individual capacity, and when I challenge them, they know that I'm challenging with facts, and they then hide behind all kinds of people and places to respond. Let them be man enough when I accuse you of something. Come and say that Sowore lied. When I talk about Otti, that I went to Abia, and what I saw was mediocrity. The problem is that a lot of people who have never seen proper standards of governance, you can't blame them. People have never seen roads made, not only with just a highway being made, that there will be a portion for vehicles, for bicycles, and there will be a portion for people who want to walk. If you have never been on that kind of a road, you will be excited with a road that is done and halfway the road ends. I remember when I went to the UK, to the London School of Economics, to go and confront Fashola when they were praising Fashola as the best governor in the world. I told him, I said, parts of Lagos is deodorized. The other parts of Lagos is ghettoized. They said, no, Fashola is the best. He built Lagos. And nobody has ever, today, Who can say that again? Fashola got upset. This was not the video is on YouTube. Said, I don't even read Sahara report. I said, how's that my business? So this is what we must all accept, that there must be a general standard for performance. And anybody who cannot live up to that performance should not be praised as a performer or special governor. And don't come to me ever and say that a governor who is paying salaries is doing you favor. So you don't want the people who are working to get paid? Or a governor who campaign that he will build, have already even allocated to themselves pensions for life, pensions for their children.
All right, Sowore Semanke, let me take your thoughts, first of all, on his statement about Alex Otti. We'll get to the Peter Obi statement. What do you think about his statement on Alex Otti, sir? Based on what Alex has been doing.
Let me speak generally, right? I respect Sowore for his courage. I can say he has found his purpose. So for people like that, death is not a threat. And I think I belong to that class. But there is something that distinguishes between him and me. I, talking to you here, I am not looking for sense. I am not looking for sense. But I'm looking for people who can bring about transformation in Nigeria. And transformation cannot be holistic. It is bit by bit. This one join this one, this one join this one, this one join this one, and all will make a difference. Sowore appeared to be somebody who, except himself, he does not see good in any other person. That's a wrong principle. That is a wrong idea. You know, and as far as you speak, as far as you grant interview, as far as you are on the social media, no matter how intelligent you are, the system have a way of throwing you up by exposing your intention and truly who you are. Like I am, those who listen to me. You don't need to listen to me twice to know my direction on certain issues. If you just go to Meta AI and type in my name and say, who am I? Some of the things we are talking about here will pop up and tell you that these are my stand on these issues. That is the way the world is. So to me, I want to believe that with time, Sowore should be able to change some of his hardline position, which tend towards seeing no good whatsoever, howsoever, in any other person except himself. You understand it? So I think to that extent, that is an error on my part, on his part. And I think he needs to take a second look at it, because going that way will not advance his cause. That's my position on that. And I don't have a blame for him, but I know that over time, he may be able to come to terms with the realities of life and then be able to say, yes, I erred in the past. These were my views then, but now I have changed that position. I want to believe that Sowore will get to that point. But for me as an individual, this is the way. I don't have any problem with him, but this is the angle from which I look at his business. And to that extent, it is a bit skewed. You know, it's like somebody who is an ethnic bigot, who believes in the superiority of his own race, and he does not see anything to be of any consequence done by any other person outside his own ethnic group. I don't have respect for such persons who reason and think that way. So in the same way, relating to Sowore appeared to me to be somebody who sees himself as a saint. And like I said, I am not looking for saints. I'm looking for people who can make little contributions, and when they are put together, they can turn out a big thing. So that's the way I see the position of Sowore. I want to be very firmly that over time, you'll be able to review part of his position, and then we'll be on the same page.
All right, because this one don't make a lot of people begin call them. Some people they call them saints. In fact, people don't say Saint Sowore, pray for us. But before we get there, let me show you exactly what Nigerians had to say, what he also said about Peter Obi and Peter Obi's visit to Kwankwaso in Kano State. Take a listen.
They're upset about Otti when they saw the organic crowd that received me in Aba. They didn't know that I could enter Aba without rice, you know. And that is why their principal had to go and borrow people who are doing Salah in Kano. And they are celebrating it. Oh, Peter Obi was in Kano. You know, he met with Kwakwaso. When did Kwakwaso become a saint? Is it not the same Kwakwaso you were abusing in 2023 that he's the saboteur for not working with Peter Obi? Suddenly, Kwakwaso is a saint because he borrowed you the crowd in his compound in Kano where they are eating salad. That's why I say be careful before they start telling you that if you go to a club, it's an alliance. If you go attend a party, it's also an alliance. You go attend wedding, it's an alliance. Well, those ones might have value. I don't know. But let's just play this honestly. Because if you are condemning the city boys, you will also have a right to condemn your village.
Okay, so Barrister Monkey, let me take your thoughts. So I sure say you see that crowd. Did you see that crowd that welcomed them during the Kano visit? So that crowd will say Peter Bigoro.
Well, what I would tell Sowore is similar to what I said earlier. It's entitled to debate, but I tell you something. When there is leprosy in any family, you don't discuss the issue of ringworm. If you do, an elderly fellow who knows the implication of leprosy, that it has the capacity to send every member of the family packing from this community, will give you a knock. And when you question him, he will say you don't understand what you are doing, and you lack understanding. There is leprosy in the family. Whatever we can do to save ourselves, and Sowore is not safe. You can just wake up tomorrow and hear that Sowore was kidnapped. See, whenever I hear that people are kidnapped, I put myself in that very position. When I hear Eli have been kidnapped, I have a mental picture of the sex abuse these ladies are doing. You need to understand, because if you don't have empathy, you have a very long way to go. If you don't have empathy. So, to me, there is leprosy in the family. And whatever we can do to believe that somebody like Kwankwaso should be able to lower his guard and deputize somebody like Peter Obi. And the magic will happen. Because we can't continue this way. We cannot. Nigeria presently is in the hand of political scavengers. Take it from me. We are in a situation of state capture. And I insist, we cannot continue this way. So something has to be done. So,
okay. Can you hear me, Barrister Monkey?
This is not the time for fanciful and cosmetic English speaking. This is the time to face, because doing otherwise.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Your earpiece.
I'm done.
Tweet. Okay, your earpiece is tweet. Why? Because you mentioned the election. Let me quickly let you know what you said while I open the phone lines. Nigerians phone lines will be open. Now, I don't want you to talk. Say right now, they need to go back to the era of taking noodle or rice anymore. Make I show you. Still, and then they determine who the president.
My name is Ambassador Nambature, the president of Arewa Youth. My name is Ambassador Nambature, the president of Arewa Youth. I want to use this opportunity to remind all the presidential candidates of the 2027 presidential election. In few months' time, the Northern Nigerian youth are going to come out in masses to endorse their presidential candidate for 2027 election. So I want to use this opportunity and inform all the presidential candidates that they should not take Northern Nigeria for granted, because at this point, we are not going to accept Indomie. We are not going to accept rice. No. All we need is that any presidential candidate that wanted the Northern Nigeria should vote for him. He should be aware that we also need dredging of River Benue and River Niger. We need seaport too in Northern Nigeria to ease our unemployment in the north. So as it is now, we the Northern Nigerian youth are the determining factor of any president in this country. We are the one that will determine, we will decide who will be the next president of Nigeria come 2027. So at this point, I want to use this opportunity da in kira matasanmu da wannan lokaci ba lokaci ba da mu karɓa indomie ko muna karɓan shinkafa a'a wannan kashe-kashe da ake mana da wasu abubuwa da ake mana arewa ya kamata fa mu dawo da hankalinmu mu san a ina muke mu zaɓe shugabanni na gari duk da cewa har yanzu dai mu matasan arewa ba mu faɗa shugaban ƙasar da za mu zaɓa ba amma nan ba tare da bata lokaci ba da musamman da
it is said that whenever a man wakes up, that is his morning. My challenge is that when you look at it from the other angle, I also know the position of Arewa concerning Sharia. I know their position concerning the terrorism. I know their position on so many other issues. So to me, nobody can deceive me. In fact, left for me, Precious, I will tell you plain, in the light of realities on the ground and the killings that is going on unabated, it's like a joke for people to be talking about 2027 election. If there is no serious step to check this ongoing genocide before this year will end, killing will go on to the point that nobody can come out to talk about election. I am telling you. I am telling you. Because this death you are hearing that people are being killed and all whatnot, how many persons have, if you are using data, you will know that the telcos have increased their tariffs. You don't need any rocket science to know that. They have increased their tariff without announcement. If I tell you how much I've loaded this week alone on data, you will not believe it. How many persons can afford that? So the government is determined to weaken Nigeria.
Hello, Parisamanki. Hello, Parisamanki, are you there? All right, Nigerians, phone lines are open. Let me have you jumping on the conversation. 08702. Parisamanki, are you there?
I'm there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm here.
Let me let you
All
land.
right. Okay. So basically, apart from the issue of election, to me, the issue of election is increasingly becoming a cosmetic issue. You see, when life is at stake, nothing makes meaning. If you have your doctorate degree, master's degree in a house, and the house is on fire, you will not remember them. The first thing that will occur to you is how to escape. That is where we are in Nigeria presently.
As a matter of fact, you just voiced the mind of exactly what that guy, the guy on IDP camp that I interviewed yesterday, said. He said when they ran away from their village in Borno State, they didn't as much as take their certificates or any documents. They just went with the clothes they were wearing. And as they are right now, they can't even get jobs because they don't have papers, they don't have certificates. They are angry. They expect the National Assembly to make laws that will protect them in terms of perhaps asking the schools to reissue certificates to them, considering their situations, or do something about how they will get jobs. So what you just said is absolutely correct, spot on, based on what the narrative of the young man yesterday. It's very sad.
That's it. And unfortunately, we have, quote unquote, so-called leaders who do not have the interest of the people except themselves and their family. And unless we are able to confront these people, see, let me tell you something precious.
Sir?
Without missing word, when I was saying that those who be.
Hello. Oh, network, don't do this to me. By the way, phone lines are open, Nigerians, 081702940077, or you click on the link on the pinned post. It will bring you into the studio to join the station. Barrister Mike, are you there?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, I'm here. So basically what I was saying, unless and until the victims of our ruiners are able to take steps by way of taking their destiny into their hands and take some of our ruiners, all their children down, that is the only language these people will understand. That's why when I hear people saying that we will rehabilitate terrorists, I look at them as jokers. Because the only language they understand, there's no part of the world that rehabilitates terrorists. No part of the world. Like Putin said, he said it's God that will forgive them. That is only duty to send them to God. And that is what is done globally. So for me, yes, you can have your position, but to me, presently, election is cosmetic matter when life is at stake. We have to decide the issue of life first before we can talk about election. So I have told Peter Obi that we need at the point we are. We have to be alive to talk about election. So forget about anything election. We have to determine if we are going to stay together or not first before you can talk about election. So to me, their argument is cosmetic.
All right, sir. So very quickly, before I start taking my calls, let me take your thought on Malami's case. Malami's house was cordoned today. In fact, yesterday, Atiku Abubakar visited him, and as that yesterday, immediately after the visit, they invited the EFCC came to his house. Today now they don't take over the house, even cordon off the street where they near his house, and people don't they complain. Say he say that one day against the human rights because as they say they don't take over a property, the case they court, and they're supposed to wait for the outcome of the case in court before they make decisions. But they're going ahead to take decisions without waiting for the outcome. And then Aeropipe was also in court today. They've adjourned his case to 31st of March. However, some of the charges were there against them. People they expect say, oh, maybe waiting then they accuse them of what happened for Southern Kaduna for follow for the charges. But no, all of them were around money laundering charges. Why would he give himself so much severance benefits as a governor beyond the stipulated amount? He gave himself 280 something million naira for severance benefits, whereas the law for Kano State states that it's about 20 million for severance benefits. And then some other crimes they around money laundering that they charged him for. Let me take your thoughts on it very quickly as we open the phone lines.
Well, Nigeria, the best way I've described this country is that Nigeria is a criminal theater of absurdities, extraordinary, every day in action.
The world.
Yeah, that's the best way I describe it. Because you see one, you think you have seen it all. The next second will shock you, will blow you away. They are after Malami because Malami refused to join the Islamic party called APC. Not more than that.
Is he not also an Islamist himself? That's what people will say. What was his role?
Yeah.
In protecting those who
No.
the list of the terrorism sponsors they gave to him. That's what many will say.
He is even the one. He is even the one that proscribed that went to court against IPOB.
Yes.
He is even the one that went to Kenya to bring Mazin Nnamdi Kanu to do extraordinary legislation.
And even when appeal court discharging Nnamdi Kanu, he said no, he's not releasing him. And he said it boldly. So that's what people are saying. People say what is good for the goose is good for the gander.
Unfortunately, that is not the case. Terrorists in Nigeria are treated like members of the Buckingham Palace. I'm telling you. El-Rufai have said it that the president is paying them each month. I think he said he removed 1 billion every month for terrorists. And they could not join issue with El-Rufai. He said he has the facts that all the states are contributing.
And
so where
part
are
of
we going?
Charges, they for part of putting the charge for today. So that means they're not responding to that.
It's just a deceit. We are just, look, let me tell you, Nigeria is de facto an Islamic country. Do you know hear the president of Turkey called Nigeria an Islamic state? You didn't hear it. So what are we talking about? I said it long time ago that if National Assembly can use voice vote to overthrow the majority of the provision of the Constitution, that it is voice vote they will use to declare Nigeria an Islamic Republic. I said it long ago. With capacity of persons like Akpabio, you just wake up one morning and declare Nigeria an Islamic state. And if you don't believe in Allah, they will kill you. It will happen. Unless we take our destiny into our hands, as advised by T.Y. Danjuma, we will all die one by one. And it's so unfortunate that you know that death is coming for you and you watch until you are healed. That's why I blame the leaders of the church in Nigeria. I blame them. I became so angry. Yes, I became so angry when I hear some ignorant fellow saying, don't correct fathers of faith. And I say that is religious witchcraft because it is only God that is infallible. Every other human being can make mistakes. The day you exalt a human being to the level that is the level of God, you have finished because you have erred. It is only God that cannot make mistakes. Every human being can make mistakes. So even what makes Pentecostalism, it was because they question Catholicism. Then you become established and now ask that people cannot question you. You should know that you are in error already. So to me, what is happening in Nigeria is intolerable. It's intolerable. And the church are better woken up because we pray to the God of Israel. Unfortunately, Israel is defending herself. That's like a joke. You pray to the God of Israel. Then you expect that the God of Israel should come and defend you. Meanwhile, the God of Israel you are talking about, Israel is defending us. Israel is deploying its technology, is harassing and mesmerizing Iraqi leadership by taking them down like somebody on the mango tree that is ripe. You just shake it and they fall. So that is where we are. So until there is a mental debugging of turning away people from this false mentality that God will come and cook your beans for you, that by shouting amen, that shouting in Jesus' name, that will sound like magic wand. Until people are debugged of such idea, we are going nowhere. We must get to the point that as I am now, my eyes are blind. Oh. Even if politicians fall in my front, I'm not looking back. My mind has shifted to a position that I never believed can get to because of the wickedness of our leaders. And until something drastic happened to them, and those who are alive will escape and go into exile, nothing will change. I can say that to anybody. Even their children, until their children are taken down, so that they will know that these people who are dying, they are human beings like their children. Nothing will change. According to Frank Fanon, every generation must out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, betray it, or fulfill it. And that is where we are. And it is left for us to take that decision. As per the political class, majority of them, they have formed a clique. That's why they cannot say a word that is contrary. Look, have you had National Assembly make any law touch the lives of Nigerians? No. No, absolutely no. It is their personal self-aggrandizement. All the money that they are borrowing, they are sharing, they have their own share. What are you using the money to do? What are you using the money to do? That's the question. Until we are determined to say enough is enough and take our destiny into our hands, nothing will change. And that is what we've got to do. That's my own position.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Nigerians come by 0808170294077, or you click on the link on the pin post and it's going to to participate on the show. Good evening, MC, and welcome.
Good evening, Precious. Good evening to your guest. Yeah,
Welcome. Welcome.
thank you very as usual. Thank you very much for your analysis, sir. We really appreciate you. We've been listening since. Thank you. Uh, Precious, I will say something to you quickly. You remember regarding the people that went to London and be collecting bribe.
Okay, go ahead.
Regarding the people that went to London that were
Okay,
collecting bribe. First
okay.
of all, they collected £800 for 2 days.
Was it not £700 again? It's not
Not even
£800.
700. Not se- I've been on it. I said to you,
1.4 million naira.
you hold on. I said to you that it wasn't the people in London. It was the student. It was the new student that came into London, that went to London to study, and some of the immigrants that do not have papers, and the people they shipped from Nigeria. Let me read. I just want to read something from you because we've been on it trying to investigate it. How did this happen? What is really going on? So these are some of. I just want to read one particular
Please kindly
message.
hurry up. Go ahead.
Okay. He said, first of all, I saw your video you made about people welcoming Bola Ahmed Tinubu in London. You were swearing for them. You are a man I respected so much. But sir, that was too much cost for people like me without hearing the other side of the story. What do you expect for a man who sold his property to find greener pasture here in the UK? I arrived for January intake. I am yet to get a better job. I have a lot of tuition fee to finish up. I left my wife and kids home expect little from me. But the case is not the same. I can confirm to you. Majority of people you saw there were students paid £800 for 2 days. Boss, I never see better work. I first used the 500 sort out my rent. I sent 300 to my wife to change apartment and get something for my kids. People like us no deserve that kind of cost. Oh, nobody wish to be there. If you know many people's story for there, you go even send money to them. You go even send money. You go even send them money. The one that are not students, they are illegal migrants looking for cash to sustain. The cost too much if they don't share money. You dey hear?
Go ahead.
There are many more. There are many more like that.
So who sent you
Different,
this
different
message? Or
type.
where did you get this message from?
Huh?
Where did you get this
Now
message from?
the platform when the platform where one of the platform like that when the guy they release course on them.
Yeah.
Now they come begin they some of them begin they confess. They if you want if you forward the entire your this thing, may
It's
you hear.
okay. All right. No,
But-
no, Wahala. Go straight to your question to Barrister Manki if you
So
have a question.
yeah, my question is to Barrister my question to Ram is this that wait as in what is the as in what why the Nigeria what did they use stay blind Nigerians will be say the Nigerians cannot wake up and start demanding for what belongs to them, start demanding for their rights. That is my question. They do, especially if you see the South them, where be say some of them see they seek the praises of these criminals. Where be say because for me, I feel say two criminals now in the fight, the secret war going on in Nigeria, and this the wars where they go on between and our criminals they fight themselves. Waiting make the good people of that society never feel get up, begin they demand for their rights or they demand for what belongs to them. Why they keep quiet, they allow these people they destroy the country.
Barrister Manki, would you like to react to that, sir?
Yeah.
But
I
before
should
you
be
react
able
to
to
that,
do that.
just give me a second. Let me take this other question inclusive. Good
Okay.
evening and welcome. Hello, are you there? Hello? Hello?
Madam, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, and you?
I'm doing okay. Please go straight to the point. Go ahead. Can you go ahead, sir? Can you
Yeah.
So
I just
just
heard about your
okay.
hello.
Go ahead,
Can you
please.
hear
Yes,
me?
yes, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. I heard about somebody reading out that kind of maybe an article concerning a student here in UK. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So I strongly believe that what he was saying was good. I didn't see that article, but from watching you and listening to what he was reading at, it is very, very, very difficult for a student to survive in present time now.
So that means is that's why. So you believe that they are the ones who took the £800 and came to sing on your mandates. That was a good quick money.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be. It should be. It is very. I'm not a fan for Tunubu or whatever, but I'm only just talking on behalf of them who has taken money. They are looking for a way out for their situation. So
Yes.
anyone that comes into UK now as a student is coming in a very, except maybe your father or your mother or your parents or one of them politicians that looks the money. But if you are coming as a common man, you are coming here to suffer. That is the truth about it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sir. All right. But Barrister Mikey, let me let you react to that which I think, Barrister Mikey, I think it's your earpiece. It's making a lot of noise.
Let me try to fix
Maybe
it.
you can help us take up your earpiece. Yeah. Aha. It has
I'm not
stopped.
hearing
Ew.
you.
You can't hear me.
I'm
Ew.
not hearing you.
Ew.
I
Can you
cannot
check
hear
if you
you.
can join me again without the earpiece? I don't know if that would help you. Okay. So while that's happening, let me quickly take some more calls. Nigeria's phone lines are still open. 0817009. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if he's back here and if he can hear us. Mr. Mikey, can you hear us? Can you hear me
Uh,
now? Can you hear me now?
yeah. Yes.
Okay. So go ahead. Go ahead and respond, please.
Okay. Now, somehow that question that he raised,
Hmm.
somehow similar question has crossed my mind. Let me just open up to you. I have
Okay.
I have I have come to the conclusion that it appears that we are under a kind of satanic spell in Nigeria. Do you
Hey.
understand? I'm being very honest to you.
Whoa.
Unfortunately, I made a comment here. You know, when people like Karl Marx said that religion is the opium of the masses, that's why some people hate religion. And when they go to the extreme of going to the point of questioning the reality of God, I have a problem with them. Because as per the reality of God, God is real. But religious extremism, something is wrong with it. You will now realize that somebody like Tinubu's wife, I have insisted that that woman is not a Christian, that she is in redeem for a purpose. These terrorists, they are not afraid of marrying a Christian, but none of the children must know the God of the Christian. As you give birth to the child, they will take over the child and introduce the child into this evil way. Now, this thing like I can tell you now that Adeboye is ashamed. I don't care what anybody will say. Adeboye is ashamed presently. Do you know that Adeboye he called President Tinubu his in-law? He said he should beg President Trump for 100 days and he should use 90 days to wipe out the terrorists and their sponsors. Till now, do you know that Nigerians are yet to mention the name of the terrorists? Even the name that were given to Buhari, that were returned from UAE, sent to Nigeria. For what has happened recently, it is clear that it is the present government that is behind the terrorism in Nigeria. So how can you fight yourself? Now they have entered into the church. The leadership of the church, let me give you a prediction of what is going to happen. You know, this year, the NBA conference that is coming to Port Harcourt, I think this year is an election year or so. If it is an election year, they will use money.
It's election year because election is on the 19th of January, thereabouts. So, I mean,
Fine.
it's only
Now,
this year we have to do all the
if it
electioneering
is
stuff.
election year for the Nigerian Bar Association, they are going to use money and any other thing to make sure that somebody that is in favor of this Islamic terrorism will be the president of NBA. So permanently, you will see they will use NBA as a vehicle to promote this terrorism. Just like you are seeing in the army, that army is now going about rehabilitating terrorists. That is the duty of army now. Meanwhile, these terrorists are killing our vibrant men. It's a strange thing that you cannot understand except look, somebody said that if someone explains Nigeria to you and you understand, then you know that something is wrong with you mentally. The way Nigeria is presently constituted, if somebody explains to you and you understand that Nigeria is in order, that there's no problem, you know that something is wrong with you mentally. That's exactly where we are. And part of the problem, you know, recently there was a comment that was credited to a man of God in the South here that said that Wike has gone to court and he has lost in every court, and he told him that he should not worry, that he's going to go to God on his behalf, and he gave millions on his behalf to God.
Yes.
Come, it's a joke. That is religious witchcraft. Go and read the book of Numbers chapter 22 and hear about the story of Balak and Balaam. You will understand that people can use religion for witchcraft activity. And that's exactly any religion that does not, like Martin Luther King said, He said any religion that claims to be concerned with the soul of man, but is not worried about the economic condition that damn them, the political condition that marginalize them, the atrocity that are being done to the people through religion. He said that religion is in search of new blood. And I added, certainly the blood of Jesus Christ. That's exactly where we are. So you realize that these terrorists have penetrated the church and they have exploited these leaders. Under Buhari, I challenged Kumuyi when he was saying that God, he was trying to make a comment, and I asked him, is it what God told you, or that's your personal opinion? Because the Bible says, woe to him that says, thus says the Lord, when the Lord has not spoken. Do you understand me? There is one man called Pastor Ayodele Elijah. He is going about saying that footballers should do whatever Wike asks him to do. And these are people who claim that they are men of God. So I know that devil can manipulate even a genuine man of God. That's why we need to pray for them, because a leader's error is a leading error. My fear is that this thing has entered and crept into the church. And God, some years ago, sent a warning through one pastor, Emmanuel Dosumu, that is sent from Germany to come and warn the church in Nigeria that there's a danger coming through this Islamic terrorism. He warned against mercantile Christianity, this Christianity that does not have empathy. This Christianity that emphasizes, you hear men of God boasting that they are the richest in the world without any empathy. See the genocide going on in Nigeria, it doesn't move them. They cannot lift a finger. Something is wrong with that religion. That religion is a scam. The God I know, the God I met at my age of 12, is not a scam. So nobody can tell me otherwise. So to me, it seems to me that we are under spell in this country. Where are the people that occupy Nigeria, for short? Where are the people that occupy Nigeria under Jonathan? Do you know that before the election that removed Jonathan from office, this Islamic penetrated Redeemed Christian Church and set up political awareness group throughout Nigeria to sensitize members of the church to vote out Jonathan? Where are they now? Where are they going to? Are they going to Panya? Or they went to United Nations short assignment in Iran? This is the reality. And God even warned them that when the trouble will come, that they will enter their private jet and jet out of this country. And that's exactly where we're going. So, to me, something is fundamentally wrong somewhere. How? That's why I said, for me, Peter Obi talking about 2027 election, it's like a joke. Your house is on fire, and you are talking about let us chase rats. There's leprosy in your family, and you're discussing the issue of ringworm. To me, issue of election is like ringworm. Let's face and stop the issue of these Islamists first. We can take about the issue of election at any time. That's my thinking.
All right, thank you. MC, do you have more questions?
Yeah, a quick one again. Is the issue about this Sowore? Why do you think that Sowore keep attacking the oppositions like IG, Peter Obi, Alesoti, and Atiku, instead of facing the man in power that is bringing this pain to the people? And again, he is supposed to join the opposition and work against the people in power. This problem to Nigeria, causing this pains to the Nigerians. Do you think, why is he always attacking the opposition? And he claimed to be an opposition. If you can elaborate on that as well, please.
Okay. Let me say this to you. It's like when he was talking about accusing Peter Obi, as if Peter Obi have those who pledge allegiance or uses the platform of Labour Party to climb to power, and later they abandon Labour Party, as if he has control over them. That's a very, when I view him against that background, I felt my respect for him dropped very seriously.
Okay.
Now, I'm always very careful about making comments that are of ethnic dimension, because I'm not a tribalist. At least I can issue myself testimonial on that. I can live with Muslims. I can live with, when I was in university, I lived with Muslims. They are from Gambia. When they travel, they allow me to stay in their house in staff quarter. They worship their God, I worship my God. We don't have any problem. At least I've gotten to that level. Nigeria, if you understand, in fact, I used to argue that when nations appear before God, that God is usually accused of being so favorable to Nigeria against other nations in terms of human capacity as well as material resources. If you know the volume of wealth in this country, you will understand why the Islamists want to take over the wealth in this country. If they take control of the wealth in this country, they can conduct war from here against Israel. They can export terrorism around the world because terrorism thrives on the wing of material resources. That's why the Islamists are fighting to be in control of power. They want to suppress everybody. Look at what is happening in Iran. Iran, look at their poverty level, but the government is selling the oil to arm themselves to wipe out Israel. You know something is wrong with such reason. So to me, like I said, it's very sad, but I'll open up to you here. I have looked at what is happening in this country, and it's very sad. Very sad. I've also interacted with some persons from the Yoruba ethnic stock. Anybody that cannot rise above ethnic boundaries, I don't have respect for you. Even men of God, like I mentioned, Adeboye is caught in that. And I will tell you very fast, God is so wise. God knows that ethnicity is in Redeem. That's why he sent Dosomu of no other church but of Redeem. The technocrat in Redeem can build the largest refinery in the world in Nigeria here. The word source in Redeem. But the problem is that most of these people their mind have not been refined. They are ethnic bigots. If you check the structure of the church, you realize that it's ethnic line. How can somebody Adeboye is sufficiently educated. Kumuyi is sufficiently educated. People like Matthew show.
Barrister Monkey, are we losing you again? Hello, Barrister Monkey. You be like, so don't lose him again. No. Barrister Monkey, are you there? Okay, let me quickly take this call while we wait for him to join us back. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead, sir.
Oh yeah. I want to say something about this thing. I've been hearing everybody be talking about this terrorism thing, and nobody's mentioning about Kumi's, Sheikh Kumi's, do what he did in the military before he left the military. As you can see that the military is not doing anything, our security agencies are not doing anything.
What did he do in the military before he left the military?
That's what I'm saying. If you check his instructions, things that he says, and nothing happens to him. So now I feel that the security agencies are compromised. So whatever he has done inside the military, they are all compromised, and now he has come out. No matter what the terrorists do, nobody says anything. Nothing happens. And then Gumi keeps coming out. No matter what you say, Gumi goes away, gets away with whatever he does. So now, I find Mr. Martin, all the things he has been saying, they are correct. And I've listened to Dr. What's his name? The man the guy is he from Benue? What's his name? The one that comes up. I've listened to him. The whole thing they have with all the narratives, they're all correct. But no one is still talking about what is it that Gumi have gone to, what is it that he did in the military? All the people that he has got, they have now compromised. So it's a very dicey, it's a very complex situation Nigeria is in. And our religious leaders, the bishops, whatever they call themselves, none of them is saying anything. The Muslim clerics, they keep coming up saying whatever they like, and our Christian leaders are not saying anything.
All right, thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say anymore. I can't even give you any solution.
Thank you.
Because our leaders
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Barrister Mankey, while we are still responding to that, I'll quickly draw your mind to this fast conversation. So I'm sure you know Justice Salami, sir. Do you know Justice
Yeah.
Salami? Good.
Okay.
So Justice Salami has just said today that P2B ought not to have contested the 2023 presidential election as he wasn't qualified to do so. And he's saying that in the hills of the fact that Peter Obi, that according to him, let me quote him so that you won't say they won't say I did. He said that, for instance, Peter Obi, that before Peter Obi contested, okay, how did he become a candidate of the LP if he does not belong to LP? So he said, for instance, Peter Obi ought not to have been allowed to contest the 2023 presidential election in the sense that by the time he lost the PDP primary, Labour Party had submitted its lists of members of the independent, of members to the Independent National Electoral Commission. And the constitution says there cannot be independent candidacy. So how did he all of a sudden become a member of the Labour Party enough to contest election in Labour Party? That's the question he's asking. So he said both the governor of Kano State, Abba Yusuf, ought not to have contested because it's the same fate. But there was something he didn't state. He didn't mention the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, who lost the primary and who did not contest again, but somehow got himself, you know, back on the ballot paper. So that's the question a lot of people are asking. But because this has been trending today, and people are, but in your opinion, based on what Justice Salami said, do you think that P2B was supposed to be disqualified or not qualified enough to contest the 2023 elections?
Let me make this very clear to you, and I'm not going to dwell so much on because Justice Salami is an instrument. He's on an assignment. He has his purpose. You know, as far back as 2004, it was the president of the Ghana Bar Association that indicted the Nigerian Bar Association. When you talk about the Nigerian Bar Association, it's so encompassing that it covers even everybody that belongs to the bar and the bench. Do you understand it? Because before you go to the bench, you are a lawyer first. So I look at it from that holistic perspective. The president of Ghana Bar Association told Nigerian lawyers at our conference, I think it was in Abuja, that the problem of Nigeria is the Nigerian lawyers. That the day Nigerian lawyers change, that Nigeria will change. He gave us a practical example that the visible change we saw then in Ghana was on the heel of the determination of the Ghana Bar Association members coming together and telling themselves that enough is enough. And they decided to vote in a lawyer as a president. And they decided to change things in Ghana. See, let me tell you, globally, whenever there is a challenge, people look up to lawyers to bring solution. But it is unfortunate what is happening in Nigeria. You know, this government is determined to buy even the intellectuals and use them. Look at as excellent as somebody like Buala should be. That is the person that Bola Tinubu is ready to buy over anybody. Look at what Professor Worika was doing in Rivers State when they brought in Sharia under the guise of state of emergency in Rivers State. Look at how they rubbish that. They rubbish Professor Osibanjo 8 years. And they deceive Redeem. They asked them to produce vice president. And they were so happy that they are producing vice president. It's unfortunate because unless you have a long sight, you are able to see ahead. You won't understand because these people are strategic thinkers. Unfortunately, in evil, like I say about Wike, he's a strategic thinker, but in evil. He has a foresight, but in evil. He knows that with what they are doing, they should be in prison because it's incompatible with their status, officially speaking. When you hear that person doing such a thing is a life venture, you begin to wonder about the fate and the future of the legal profession in such a country. So to me, the problem of Nigeria is Nigerian lawyers. And that is why I have warned. And what will save this country is going to be a popular revolution that will come out, organic popular revolution. And I have warned that most lawyers will not escape it. Because most of the nonsense going on in this country is on the head of lawyers.
All right, sir.
Look at the rubbish that happened in Rivers State. It's power number one by Wike.
All right.
Senate
Can
President Akpabio.
you respond quickly to? Okay, sir.
Attorney General, who is also a lawyer. Let's assume that the president is not a lawyer, and he is not. Among these three, what did they tell the president when he was trying to impose state of emergency to take over Rivers State? Because the target, Nyesom Wike had told the president that without taking over Rivers State, that they cannot win. So all they are moving towards is entrenchment of criminality. And this thing has been done through lawyers. Ekuremadu in jail is a lawyer. They went to UK to release him. Britain said no. Now, Bola Tinubu has gone again. We don't know what will be the implication of this last one, whether finally they will release Ekuremadu. Because these people are desperate in pursuit of evil against the interests of the people. Have you heard National Assembly talk about that let's refine our crude oil here locally for the benefit of Nigerians? Have you heard them talk about something of that nature? They know it will benefit the people. As we are talking now, most of them who stole the public money and set up, if you go to filling station, check all the money the bus drivers are making from the misery of the people. They get to filling station, the money ends there. It is there that they take. It's just like a horn. A horn. They just collect the whole money from them at the filling station. It's going to the pocket of the political class, those who are filling station. That is the chain that is going on. If you check how more people are spending on transportation, so many people are in what I call economic escort. They are not in any employment. If you check the money they spend on transportation every month, is even more than the minimum wage. Are they going? Which work are they going to do? They are just on escort. So when they weaken you, they can give you a cup of rice and you'll be desperate to get it. I said in Port Harcourt here, lawyers, lecturers in the law school in Port Harcourt, they were fighting over a bag of rice called federal government subsidized rice. I rejected it. I said a grain will not enter my house, and I rejected it. They said lawyers should bring 40,000 naira and their name to collect a bag of rice then. I rejected it. So this is how desperate people are. The problem of Nigeria is Nigerian lawyers. I've said it and I maintain.
Barrister Maki, can you quickly speak to what the caller said about Sheikh Gumi, that nobody is talking about what he did while he to the military or in the military? Do you know anything about that? I don't know.
If you look at the issue of Gumi, I mentioned in this program that Gumi is an untouchable ambassador, extraordinary, plenipotentiary. It is Gumi that is giving direction to Tinubu. And that shows that there is an alliance that Tinubu entered into with the Islamists. Because Gumi is a representation, is the arrowhead of the Islamist terrorism front in Nigeria. Is he not the one who asked the president to go to Turkey? Turkey that is on record to have supplied arms to Boko Haram in Nigeria. Undisputed. That is where he now went and signed military pact. Just like a remote controlled fellow. He went there. Why is Gumi not questioned? It will take international or foreign invasion. Without foreign invasion, forget it. If you are looking at any help from the church, except there will be revolution within the body of the church, they will revolt against the leadership. If not, most of the people in leadership position are compromised based on ethnicity. Like I was saying before I got cut off, I challenged Kumuyi and I asked him, is it what God told? Because the Bible says, woe to him that says, thus says the Lord, when the Lord has not spoken. I know the consequences of that. Look at what somebody like Tunde Bakari was saying in this country, that God told him that Buhari will hand over power to him. Look at what somebody like Bakari was saying against the Igbos, making careless comment of ethnic dimension. So it's worrisome. I'm very worried about what Christianity have been torn into. Look at somebody like Tinubu's wife.
So
have you heard Tinubu's wife going to visit?
Can you speak to the Sheikh Gumi's issue? What is it that we need to know about what he did as military or is doing to the military? Because some people may not know.
You notice that Gumi was a medical doctor. You know that?
Yes, and he served in the military as a medical doctor.
And he served in the military. Do you understand it? So he has the knowledge of the in and out. Yes, he has the knowledge of the in and out. In fact, Gumi is among those who are fronting. I am telling you globally, go and fact check me. there is nowhere in the world except Nigeria that import foreign terrorists to come and kill her people. It's only in Nigeria that I've seen. And then these foreign terrorists who are non Nigerians, who are coming to look for land. Because if they were Nigerian, they would have had indigenous place where they come from. These are people coming from Futajaro. When Buhari came into office through deception, they got somebody like, they were using Osibanjo as a deceit. Osibanjo talked about the fact that they are going to start a motor refinery. Suddenly, Buhari, who claimed he was sick, jumped from his hospital bed in England, came to Nigeria and frustrated that process. Anything that will empower the people, they frustrate it. So it was under Buhari that they were reintegrating terrorists into all the security forces, and they are the people that are planning and infiltrating and are leading to the killing of our Nigerian soldiers who are not terrorists. And after some time, they will wipe out all Nigerian soldiers, and the entire architecture of the security will be in the hand of the terrorists. Then what's the implication of that? What is the implication of that? You don't need to be a lawyer. Common sense will tell you. And that is the plan. They have a plan to Islamize this country. And some idiot are still saying it cannot happen here. And it's like a joke. All the money they are stealing, they are using it to buy weapons. Turkey, Iran, they are the people backing these terrorists. Unfortunately, they have money mongers like Wike, whom I call an Islamic mole. And very soon, before most of the people who are following will open their eyes, it will be too late. It will be too late. Because ultimately, they will kill all these people who are supporting them presently. Because they will say that they are not real Islamists.
Thank you,
that
sir.
They are infidel. They will kill all of them.
Thank you. MC, do you have anything to say before I release Barrister Mankey?
Yeah, let me. I will
No,
say.
now you'll not be having everything to say. Oh, yeah, hurry up.
Okay, I don't hear you, precious.
Okay.
As let me say quickly, yeah. When he says lawyers are the problem, yeah, I can say he's correct on that, because if you look if you look like this side of the country now, let me put it this way, this side of the country, the current person now leading that country is a lawyer. Is a lawyer, is a barrister. So the person that he took over is into the private sector. That was a banker, then a journalist, a journalist as well. I've led that country. In Canada now, you have former governor, former banker. I would say a banker as well, who is leading the country. You could see it's either lawyers or the business sector, and these people are well educated, as in they are well trained in terms of when it comes to leadership, empathy, and everything as imbued on those people. But in Nigeria, the leaders you have, they have nothing to, as in they are not educated, nothing, they know nothing about leadership. You understand? These people now, what have they before they entered that position, what have they managed? What business have they managed? Which people have they lead? Nothing. So there's a big question there. There's a big question we should be asking. Nigerians should be asking the same question. They cannot fold their hands anymore. Allow people who have no idea, who have got no idea about leadership or how to lead the country, to start hijacking powers. Enough is enough. And the lawyers aspect needs to be really, really looked into. Because if there are laws in the country, I believe these laws should have taken care of all these things. The institutions should have been more stronger than Nigeria producing criminals or strong men. But Nigeria needs to build institutions that are stronger than these criminals. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Barrister Mankey, if you have a final parting shot, a last word to tell Nigerians, what would that be, sir?
Yeah, let me respond to what he said.
Okay.
Now, if you listen to this last parting shot from him,
Okay.
is very correct. See, let me tell you. Majority of the people in position of leadership today, pay attention to what I'm going to say now. They don't have any verifiable means of sustainable livelihood.
So they're not getting work. What did they do before now? Oh, Barrister Monkey, your network again. Oh, Barrister Monkey, can you hear me? Oh dear. All right. Barrister Monkey, can you hear us? Okay, I think the network has kicked him out. Barrister Monkey, are you there, please? Okay. All right. While we're waiting for him to rejoin us, I think I have Frank at the back here. Frank Onero, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Madam Precious.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that barrister so much for what he has been saying every time he come on your platform. Somebody was talking about the quality and type of leadership that we produce in Nigeria. Like I always say, most time I contribute on your program, we have criminals, thieves, liars, thugs, agberos, and destroyers. These are the categories of people in charge of leadership in Nigeria. We must decide as a people to chase these criminals away from governance. That is on that. On the issue of terrorism, I will give you a few data points to show you and prove to you that I prove to Nigerians as well that the federal government of Nigeria is the chief sponsor, the major sponsor, and chief financier of terrorism in Nigeria. Number one, the investigative journalist Fisayo proved and showed data, information that the federal government paid these terrorists millions of dollars to release people that were captured. That is one data point. RFI, he will use his own math and told us the federal government set aside money. Even RFI give terrorists money to free people and to calm the situation down. That is, those are three points. Recently, one of the people that were captured, a farm manager, alongside those that were captured and terrorized, he told us that the Kwara State government paid over 300 and something million naira to terrorists.
Yes.
So with this data point, it's clear that the federal government is hand in hand. Those are few. He has also mentioned it. We know that both Buhari, who is an APC faith, like I said, Buhari will never rest in peace wherever is lying down. God in heaven will never allow Buhari to enjoy what they call heaven.
Oh, yeah, thank you, sir. That's your thoughts.
Finally, before you let me go, I want to quickly say, Nigerians, that minister, the failed minister of darkness, that Tinubu government appointed as minister of power, who I refer to as the minister of darkness, should be flushed and sacked the way Nigerians must gather and flush and sack failed APC government. Thank you.
Thank you. Minister of Power, make I show you what's in talk today. No vex, forgive him. He say light
from the Minister of Power that for this temporary issue that is leading to hardship being experienced, especially during this dry season, where there is so much heat everywhere, where businesses are also being affected, where schools have been affected, where industries have been affected. It is not our wish to find ourselves in this situation, but it's some factors that's actually beyond our control. But we are not relenting. We are working on it 24/7 to make sure that we go back to the trend, to the trajectory of 2025, whereby you praised us, whereby you commended us for a good job well done. And we can imagine if we could provide such service in 2025, this is 2026. This is when we'll be willing to even do more, to even do better, as we are close to the election year. So, except that we cannot help it, that's why we find ourselves here. But I can assure you that in the next few weeks, all this will be over. Bad generation will be.
So assuming just show you, say Minister of Power on top of in game, you do what you need to do. So Barrister Maki, you were responding to all of this. So let me let you conclude your thoughts. The network, distorted your.
Right. Now, what I was saying, which I asked you to pay particular attention to, which is in line with what the penultimate speaker was saying, is this. If you check the capacity of these, and I was using Wiki as an example, these are individuals without any verifiable means of sustainable livelihood, except looting of public treasury. Do you understand? They are not leaders. They are ruiners. And unless such people are from the position of leadership, we are not a ship, a rudderless ship on the high sea that is going nowhere. And Nigerians must be able to galvanize ourselves. We must tell ourselves that enough is enough. If you look at somebody like Salami that make that stupid comment, what is he talking about? People like that are devoid.
He made a point. He made a point. He said that Obi ought not to have contested because at the time that he came into ADC, Labour Party had already submitted its membership.
What is he talking about in the? What is he talking about in the light of realities?
They did not follow for the membership register when he said they submit, except they submit another, amended.
He doesn't know it. To me, we are having our house is on fire. In fact, left for me, if I hear that there is coup tomorrow, I tell you, I don't want to make certain comments, but with the way things are going, except something drastic happens that will wipe out these ruiners, we are going nowhere. Even their supporters, because if you listen to somebody like Salami here, they are not talking about leadership. They are just talking about technical issues. That's why what is destroying the bar or what destroying the bench is just technicality. Look at what they did in the case of Rivers State after 6 months. Supreme Court of all courts, and they don't know the harm they have done by the judgment led by the Supreme Court after 6 months in Rivers State. They have empowered Tinubu that they can declare state of emergency in any state and get away with it. That's what they have done. And it's very unfortunate.
Speaking on his observation, what do you think of it as a lawyer?
To me, what Salami is saying in the light of current realities is already belated. And it makes no sense.
So you think he just wants to ignite issues where there is no
issue? He just wants to be heard. He's talking rubbish. I thought he would talk about something about this terrorism that doesn't respect anybody, that is taking away the lives of Nigerians. That's why I said when life is at stake, nothing matters. Even election is secondary. Why are they concentrating on election, on coming to office? Is it not Tinubu that said that if he cannot provide 24 hours light, that he should not be voted? Now he is keeping money to buy over people. And we are keeping quiet, watching at these people, behaving as if we are brainless, that we don't know what to do. It's a joke. And if we do not rise up, like T.Y. Danjuma predicted, we will all die one by one. And it will be too bad. Because this killing will get to a point that people you would have been able to synergize with to challenge the status quo, before you know they have dead, they have been killed. Then they will come after you and you can't go anywhere. That's exactly that's their plan. Because they are relying on the terrorists to bring down Nigerians, to enable them have their way. That's all. So unless the issue of terrorism is tackled, all this issue of election is just a diversion. Because the terrorists are firing on all their cylinders, upon all this talk we are making now. The kidnapping is going on. The killing is going on. unabated. And the government, who is the chief sponsor of this terrorism, they are saying nothing. So until, that's why I say, if I wake up tomorrow and they say there's a coup, drastic coup that will take away the lives of so many people, nothing will happen. I'm telling you.
All right, sir. Just before you go, you know, say there was a warning about an imminent terrorist attack in. I think that was the attack was against Kaduna State, Kwara State, and Taraba State. As I speak to you now, there's been an attack in Taraba State where don't cause loss of lives, and people don't they talk about when this incident happened, when they were warning against this incident, what was done about it. So let me quickly bring you up to speed with that conversation very quickly. So information reaching journalists has it that terrorists carried out a fresh attack on St. James. On St. James, the terrorists carried out a fresh terrorist attack on St. James, the Great Catholic Church in Adutakum local government area of Taraba State, just days after a security alert warned of the imminent assault in the area. So what did that one mean? Say terrorists them don't carry out another attack, very massive attack for inside Taraba State, for St. James the Great Catholic Church for inside Taraba State. Just few days after this particular report will come out. Make I show you the reports when they come out.
Hello, everybody. This is Judd Saul, the Executive Director of Equipping the Persecuted. You can find us and learn more information about our organization at equippingthepersecuted.org. That's equippingthepersecuted.org. I don't come out on video very often, and when I do, it's because I have something that really needs to be said that no one's talking about. And sadly to say, through our sources on the ground in Nigeria and some of our sources from truthnigeria.com, I'm issuing a terror alert that is very imminent that everyone needs to know about. We have critical information of upcoming attacks in Taraba and in southern Kaduna. And when I mean imminent attacks, this means that Fulani ethnic militia have been sighted. They've been gathering. They are preparing for major attacks in Taraba and southern Kaduna. We're expecting an imminent attack in Taraba around March 23rd. FEM, Takum unit, Fulani ethnic militia unit in Takum, is mobilizing fighters and staging positions. They are armed movement, or seeing armed movements across the Donga River toward Chenjenji. Fighters embedded via cattle herds. Drone confirmed machine gun presence. And there was a recent attack in Tor Damisa where 5 people were killed, but that's just the beginning. They're amassing and planning for a large attack. The staging area is in New Gaboko, and it's around seized farmland, and it's under active terrorist control. Attack is likely within days. We're expecting right after Ramadan. So those of you in Taraba, in the Chinchenji Yelwa access, be on alert. They are moving. They are planning major attacks in Taraba. Please be careful. And now we have information in southern Kaduna. They are planning a major attack in Chikun, Kajuru, and Kachia. We are seeing mass movements of terrorists. They've been gathering since March 16th. They're amassing in certain areas, preparing for a large attack.
All right, so true to
large
motorcycle inside this news, in talk say this attack will happen for inside Takum, for inside Taraba State, between 23, 24, 25th of March. And true to his words, we hear say this attack happened because according to the attack, it happened on the 23rd. That was yesterday. Now we say this attack happened for inside Taraba State. And actually, it happened along the Chechengi Yelwa axis, proving exactly what he be saying just the talk. When he made this announcement, he did beg the Nigerian government, the Nigerian military, the security apparatus to make sure that they do something about them. Now, the early warning we be say give them, don't they like say it don't they null and void, because it no matter, because as you speak right now, people have been injured. We hear that reports reaching ground or from eyewitnesses reports say that there's been lots of damage done. that windows were smashed, the parish office and was vandalized, and the priest's residence suffered attacks. The old church building, one of the early structures in the entire community, was also broken into. The latest incident forms part of a wider pattern of violence in southern Taraba that has continued since late 2025. Now, the Catholic Diocese of Wukari has documented more than 100 deaths and the destruction of numerous communities and churches across Takum, and Usa and Donga local government area of Taraba State. Over 90,000 people, many of them Catholics, have been forced to flee their homes in the process. And again, it don't happen again. Make I take your thought on that. What are the preemptive measures we government for taking? Immediately this alarm was raised, make it not happen. We for make it not happen.
There is nothing talking about government here. The only way out is for the people. Look, I made this very clear. The only of the crisis on ground is for Nigerians to take their destiny into their hands. The people living within these spaces, they are familiar with the environment, the terrain. They have to rise up against these terrorists. I can tell you that these terrorists don't outnumber Nigerians. Part of the problem we are having.
A lot of them are accusing, they accuse the military. So when military come, they go raid their homes, seize their rifles or anything where they say they won't use defend themselves, but allow the people then would attack them to continue to be armed.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's sufficient evidence on the ground. People have to form alliance. That's why I'm accusing the leadership of the church in Nigeria. As I'm talking to you, by virtue of my exposure, I don't need more than 1 week to be trained to handle rifle. So people should be given training, particularly graduates who have gone through NYSC training. People should be trained. We are not joking. We are in war. We are in war in Nigeria. War is going on. It's a matter of when will you be a victim with the way things are going. And some people are joking. It seems to them as if we are joking, we are lying. We are in war. This is exactly what Mazi Kano predicted. In fact, the guy has become the greatest prophet of our time. He saw ahead, he saw what was coming, and he said it exactly. And people were just making noise that he's a warmonger. Exactly what he said is what is happening now. So to me, these people don't need to wait for any government. They should be armed. They don't need to announce their arm. They should be armed because most of their operation is in the night. Like Chino Achebe said, until the lion have their own historian, the story of the hunt will always favor the hunters. So these people should be able to master the movement of these people and how they operate. And then they should take up. They have to defend themselves.
People will not be the ones to defend themselves. And what's in
sure. If you are depending on government, we will all die one by one. It's as simple as that. Because you do not know whether this batch of military people that are sent, these are the infiltrated terrorists or the re-injected terrorists into the group who will bring in their people. They have communication line with their people. And they tell them this is what has happened. This is what these people were saying here. So I think we need to. It's time for us. Leave the military. People have to take their destiny into their hands. That's my respectful position with the way things are going. I also hope that foreign intervention should come in. If not, it's practically impossible. That's what I have to say.
Thank you so much, Bryce. I appreciate you. Thank you for your thoughts and
thank you.
Making up time. Almost 3 hours of your time. No vex. No mama. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sir.
No.
Thank you. I hope that I can disturb you sometime soon again too, because I'm full of worry. Disturb me a lot. Thank you so much for taking our time to join us here.
Thank you.
God bless you. Do enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe.
All right.
Thank you. Good night. Right, Nigerians, that's the size of our package tonight. I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who's been part of the show. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys. If you never follow us like your village people waiting you again, you're go and follow us now. Follow us or like, share it now. Should I pour wine for you? I go buy you now wine. I beg now. Oh yeah, now kindly like this post, share it, let people hear this great insights from Barrister Mankey, because an informed mind, you know what's they happen to them now. You they prepared. I love you guys and I appreciate you greatly. I'll see you again tomorrow, God willing. But before then, we're gonna make sure someone protect my. Yeah, somebody is supposed to join me tomorrow. I'm looking at getting somebody to join me tomorrow. They do me like say make I tell on the person or make I not tell on her. But we will look at the statistics of all of these killings by tomorrow. How if we see these numbers they use go, the reported ones, and all of those. We will look at them proper tomorrow. And the guests who is supposed to join me, then will help us break down the conversation. So don't tell me anything about screwdriver, driver seller. You know, they shall not say that. I love you guys and I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow evening with my guest, God willing. Protect your mental health. Good night. Don't break down like I did yesterday. Good night and God bless you. Bye.